You're listening to The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM, Cedar Rapids.
We now leave our network programming to bring you the following special sports presentation.
Let the good times roll with the fun of Kernel Baseball in The Zone.
Bring your family, bring your friends. This is where the fun never ends. Everybody knows when you're at the game. The good times roll. Hey, Kernels, let the good times roll. Cedar Rapids Kernels, let the good times roll.
With the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show, here's the voice of the Kernels, John Rogers.
On a beautiful Friday evening in Community Field in Burlington, the Kernels try to make it a 5-1 record on their 8-game road trip that has seen them creep to within 2 games of Beloit and 2.5 of Kane County. If the Kernels manage to reel in those 2 teams with 11 left in this season, the Kernels will make the playoffs. A remarkable run by this ball club, including a series-opening victory behind Fernando Rodriguez Jr. last night, 4-2. Bobby Magallanes, as he does every Friday on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show, is standing by to answer questions that you've submitted to him. We'll get to those in just 1 minute. This is Kernel Baseball in the Zone.
A triple play, a rarity on the diamond, but produced successfully every day at South Slope Communications in North Liberty. The South Slope Communications Triple Play consists of voice, video, and data communications for your home or business. Achieve your communications triple play with South Slope Communications. South Slope is committed to providing the latest communications technology to their members while continuing to give service second to none. South Slope can provide your home or business with just about everything that connects you to information. Digital wireless phones, long-distance plans, data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and coming soon to all local servicing areas, digital video TV service. South Slope also rents out a beautiful community center event room in their magnificent new building in North Liberty. When you need anything in the communications field, select South Slope Communications. Visit them at southslope.com.
Our first question for the Colonel Skipper from Burlington's Community Field comes from Clarence, Iowa. That's between Cedar Rapids and Clinton, where we were last weekend. And Bobby, Wanda of Clarence, Iowa, would like to know if you knew that 47-year-old Julio Franco of the Braves hit .437 in his 110 games with the Mexico City Tigers in 2001 before Atlanta signed him. Is that all he hit? Well, it sounds like you do know about it, Bobby.
Yeah, I played with him that year, and I played with him 1 year in Mexico, and actually he was at .480 for the longest season. He slumped at the end, ended up hitting .437, but he's the best right-handed hitter, if not the best hitter I ever played with.
Bobby, that's some statement. Now, if you could break it down just a little bit, because you played with a lot of great ones, including Vinny Castillo, I believe. What is it about Julio Franco that leaves that impression in your mind?
He can hit. I don't know how to explain it. It's an unorthodox swing. Mechanically, he's got some flaws in his swing, but he's just a natural hitter. One time I asked him, I go, gosh, Julio, how do you do it? I mean, he works hard. This guy's there early, every day, taking his routine and BP and prepares himself unbelievable, more than anybody I ever played with, the way he prepares. But he just told me, he goes, Bobby, don't worry about me. He goes, I've always hit.
Well, that's confidence. Bobby, when Atlanta and John Sherholt saw him, heard about him in Mexico City, was it easy for him to leave that league when he was hitting in the 430s, you said earlier in the year, in the 480s, or did he jump at the chance to come back to the big leagues?
Yeah, that was his thing. He always wanted to go back to the big leagues. As a matter of fact, before he signed, he says, Bobby, he goes, I'm going to go back to the big leagues someday. He goes, God's going to honor that. And I said, gosh, personally, I said, who's going to want to sign you at the age you have and the injuries you've had and everything? And he says, I've been faithful. He says, I think God's going to honor that. And you know what? I tell you, because it was like 3 weeks later, he gives me a call. He says, Bobby, he was actually the Arizona Diamondbacks are the ones who called first. And they wanted a right-handed hitter to platoon with Mark Grace the first. That was the year they won the World Series. And anyways, so they didn't go through, but Atlanta Braves ended up getting up. They ended up doing pretty well.
Well, Bobby, nothing more can be said about Wanda's question. You saw Julio Franco hit over 480. He left the league hitting 437, and you said unequivocally he's the greatest right-handed hitter you ever played with. Thank you, Wanda of Clarence, Iowa. Bobby, next up, Irene of Cosgrove, Iowa, would like to know what the penalty or consequence is if a corner outfielder picks up and plays a bullpen ball rather than the game ball when a batter hits the ball into the bullpen down either line.
Well, number one, if the umpires don't catch it, the ball's in play. Umpires see that, then what they do is that they'll stop play and just reward the bases to where they think the runner should be.
It's really their discretion.
Yeah, it's theirs. I mean, they can pick up any ball. If they pick up a ball, the umpires don't see it, the ball's in play.
Now, Irene's question is precipitated by an observation Todd Brummelkamp made in Clinton. He thinks that a Clinton outfielder on a Michael Collins extra base hit into the Lumber King bullpen either inadvertently or on purpose played a bullpen ball. And Todd said he thought he saw that with his own eyes. I did not see that. What was your take on it?
No, he didn't play a bullpen ball. Actually, one of the pitchers, I think he ended up catching the ball and end up placing it down on the ground. That's when the outfielder got the ball and threw it back in. Actually tossed it to him.
Okay. Well, Bobby, stranger things have happened, and I'm glad that you knew the rule that if the umpires actually see an outfielder play a bullpen ball rather than the ball hit into the bullpen, that they can award a guy anything from a double, triple, or inside the park home run.
Yeah, it's all, as a matter of fact, the umpires came out and told me, hey, Bob, Michael Collins was the one running. We're going to award him second base because at the time that happened, they felt like he wouldn't be able to advance to third base. So it's under the umpire discretion.
Back with Bobby Magallanes in Burlington for a final question on the Friday South Slope Communications Triple Play Show in just a moment. This is Colonel Baseball in the Zone.
A triple play, a rarity on the diamond, but produced successfully every day at South Slope Communications in North Liberty. The South Slope Communications triple play consists of voice, video, and data communications for your home or business. Achieve your communications triple play with South Slope Communications. South Slope is committed to providing the latest communications technology to their members while continuing to give service second to none. South Slope can provide your home or business with just about everything that connects you to information. Digital wireless phones, long-distance plans, data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and coming soon to all local servicing areas, digital video TV service. South Slope also rents out a beautiful community center event room in their magnificent new building in North Liberty. When you need anything in the communications field, select South Slope Communications. Visit them at southslope.com.
Bobby, our last question comes from Cedar Rapids. Spencer tells us that Bobby Abreu of the Phillies are playing very well in their bid to secure a wild card slot. According to Spencer, Bobby Abreu has hit only 4 home runs since winning the Home Run Derby in Detroit during the All-Star break. Spencer would like to know if you think that the home run hitting contest has either taken something out of Bobby Abreu or has in some way been detrimental to his power output in the second half.
Well, to be honest with you, he's never been a big power hitter. He's been a very good hitter. He'll hit his 15 to 20 home runs a year, but he's never been a big home run hitter, and possibly maybe him trying to maybe now hit home runs because since he is the home run champion in the All-Star game and in that home run hitting contest. He might be thinking, gosh, I got to produce now. I got to really hit home runs, which maybe he's putting pressure on himself. But Bobby's never been a big home run hitter anyways.
Well, that answers the question very well. I did not realize that. So in a way, Bobby's performance at the All-Star game was both impressive and a little surprising.
It was impressive. I mean, that guy was phenomenal in that home run hitting contest. And, he's got power. I'm not saying he doesn't have power. The guy has power, but he's never, you can't compare him with Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa and those guys that hit, Alex Rodriguez that hit those type of home runs. I mean, he hits his 20 home runs a year, but, he's never been a big home run champion or never won a league hitting championship ever. A home run championship ever. Spencer of Cedar Rapids, thanks so much. Bobby, thank you. And as always, we want to send you to Zio Giano's to enjoy the hometown taste of Italy. The pasta that will make you sing. Bobby, we're home for 4, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, against the swing of the Quad Cities, and hopefully during that busy time, you can treat yourself to a meal at any of our Zio Giano's. Colonel Mander Bobby Magianis, thanks so much. Thank you, John. Up next, the Kernels try to make it a 5-1 8-game road trip here in Burlington. I'll have the starting lineups when we return. This has been the Ask the Manager show on Friday, South Slope Communications Triple Play show in the Zone.
There's a reason Dick Ramsey is the #1 home seller for the #1 real estate company, Skogman Realty. It's because Dick Ramsey works harder for you than anyone to make selling your home easy for you. Take Dick's one-of-a-kind home trade program. Buy one of Dick Ramsey's homes and Dick will buy yours. Dick Ramsey provides 2 other unparalleled services: a free 1-hour telephone loan approval and a free 1-hour telephone appraisal on your property. Dick Ramsey of Skogman Realty, the #1 home seller for the #1 real estate company.
Knowing who you are is important. At Kirkwood Community College, we know who we are. We are accessibility. We are quality. We are opportunity. We are community. Who are you? We can help you learn. Kirkwood.edu.
On a gorgeous Friday evening, the Kernels continue their 4-game series in Burlington, and the ball club is playing some of the best baseball all season long, having captured 4 of the first 5 on this pivotal 8-game commuter road trip to Clinton and here to Burlington, southeastern Iowa. Todd Brummelkamp is with us again. He'll be chiming in with his thoughts about the game and also bring us the middle 3. The umpires are accepting the lineup cards. Jim Gabella, the skipper of Burlington, standing to the left of home plate, and Bobby Magianis chirping to the umpires, exchanging pleasantries with the Burlington skipper, turning in the Kernel lineup. Let's set that Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup for you on this sunny, delightful, late August evening in southeast Iowa. In fact, Burlington was Iowa's first territorial capital. Allen Motor Company, they invite you to visit soon because they have some marvelous value and bargains on Kias. Kias have that legendary 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty program that have made them one of the most popular models and brands in the United States. Let me give you just an example, one, of the value and savings right now at Allen's on Kias. 2005 Kia Sorento, $18,995. That's it at Allen Motor Company. The offer and price is that good. Kia tent sale now at Allen Motor Company. Leading off for the Kernels this evening, the shortstop, Sean Rodriguez. Batting second baseman Nate Sutton. Freddy Sandoval is tied for 3rd in the league with 32 doubles. He scored the go-ahead run in the 8th inning last night. Freddy is at 3rd base, batting 3rd. Hitting cleanup, catcher Michael Collins. He drove in the go-ahead run with a double in the 8th inning last night, chasing Freddie home from first. Michael was named yesterday, as you heard, on the South Slope Communications Triple Play show to the Midwest League postseason All-Star team. Batting 5th is Josh LeBlanc. He's in center field for the Kernels. Hitting 6th in the Allen Motor Company order, he broke a scoreless tie in the 5th inning with his 13th home run of the year, Warner Madrigal, the DH. Richard Giannotti came on to pinch run for Drew Toussaint. Drew's not in the Allen Motor Company order this evening. Richard came in to pinch run for Drew after Toussaint was hit by a pitch in the top of the 9th inning. Richard stole second, went to 3rd on a throwing error by the catcher, and scored on a Jordan Wren sacrifice fly to give the Kernels a big insurance run in their 4-2 win. Richard bats 7th in left field. Jordan Wren is hitting 8th. He's in right. And batting 9th, 6'6" slugger, first baseman Chris Walston. On the hill for the Kernels, coming off his most impressive and spectacular performance of the year, 21-year-old right-hander Carl Jelena. He was a 47th-round pick of the Angels in 2003, went to school at Northeast Oklahoma A&M in Miami, Oklahoma. Jelena, a 4-0 winner in Clinton last Saturday night, blanked the Lumber Kings over 8 1/3 on just 3 hits, fanned a season-high 9, walked none. Carl's 8 up and 8 down with a 4.15 ERA. That is the Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup. Let's take a look at Jim Gabella's order for the Kansas City Royal minor leaguers. Geraldo Valentin at short leads off. Batting second, an Ivy Leaguer out of Dartmouth, Ed Lucas at third base. He leads the Bees with 26 steals. Damaso Espino came over to the Kansas City organization in a deal with the Cincinnati Reds. Espino will catch and hit third for Burlington. The Bee cleanup man leads them in homers, RBIs, and doubles, Rusty Brown at first base this evening. Brian McFall will be in right and bat fifth. Hitting sixth, Kennard Springer, the left fielder. Gary Perez will bat seventh and play at second base for Burlington. Cody Cure, a newcomer out of Abilene Christian, signed as a non-drafted free agent, will be in center field. He's batting eighth and hitting ninth. This is a classic name, Darwinson Salazar, the designated hitter. And pitching for Burlington is a big, tall right-hander, Justin Sherman. Sherman's 24 years old. He's won 3 and lost 8, an ERA of 4.62. Justin Sherman started at Dixie State Junior College and then finished up at University of Nevada, Reno. He was signed by Kansas City as a non-drafted free agent, and he lives in Las Vegas, Nevada, born in San Diego. Sherman's record 3-8, 4.62 ERA. Last time out, he was a 6-3 loser in Battle Creek, Michigan, to the Devil Rays. He went 5 innings in that start, his 9th of the year. Allowed 6 runs in 5 innings on 10 hits, struck out 1, walked 1. He was a 6-3 loser Saturday night in Michigan. Justin Sherman on the hill for Burlington. Anderson and Brown Eye Care, as always, presents our umpiring crew. Behind home plate is Doug Levy, and on the base paths, Victor Carapaza. Anderson and Brown Eye Care invites you to visit their brand new location right off I-380, Boyson Road, exit 25 in Hiawatha. They're next to Intent City, and they now, in addition to contact lenses, have a full line of eyeglasses for you to peruse and select from. Anderson and Brown Eye Care, the official eyewear and eye care provider of the Kernels. Well, what a stark contrast this evening is to last night. Last night it was murky, soupy, cloudy, kind of dank. This evening, clear skies. Lights are on, sun shining brightly. It'll be a factor in right field for the first few innings of this ball game. We raved about the renovation of this ballpark. We were the first in here to christen it back in early April, and it's just gotten better and better. They had a live band performing an hour and a half before this evening's action. Before Burlington takes the field and we pause to honor America with the singing of the national anthem, Jack Rader has shared some very exciting news that I want to pass on. You're always the first to know, Colonel fans. Jack, of course, is our longtime general manager, and Fan Appreciation Night has become a real hallowed tradition at Veterans Memorial Stadium, both in the old ballpark and now in the new, Thursday, September 1st. Jack wants everyone to know, and so do we, that the ball club will be handing out 2005 team photos from Copyworks and cheer sticks at the gate while they last. Now, the gates open at 6 for the final home game of the regular season, Thursday, September 1st. Also, and what an attraction this is, the Gazette will be handing out their Gazette e-edition cards. Those cards give you a free 2-week trial of news at your fingertips on your computer. There'll be a drawing for prizes, including a night stay for 2 at the Crown Plaza, concession discounts, including $1.50 sodas and $1 ice cream cones. Discounts on selected souvenir items, including baseball caps and cards throughout the evening. The Bees have hit the diamond. Let's pause in Burlington on this beautifully clear Friday night to honor America with the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner.
Our national anthem.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, in sunshine and bright stars, through the
With a big Friday night crowd looking on. I think we've had a malfunction behind the center field wall. Some fireworks got loose and exploded. A round of duds, it appears. Just a huge billow of gray smoke above the center field wall, but no fireworks. Well, at least it was thunderous in getting attention. We're glad you're with us. The Kernels are trying to make it another win here tonight to pull closer to the two teams we need to catch, Beloit and Kane County, with 11 remaining in the regular season to make the playoffs. Jake Lentz, our in-studio engineer. Tonight's action is just around the corner here in the zone.
A triple play, a rarity on the diamond, but produced successfully every day at South Slope Communications in North Liberty. The South Slope Communications triple play consists of voice, video, and data communications for your home or business. Achieve your communications triple play with South Slope Communications. South Slope is committed to providing the latest communications technology to their members while continuing to give service second to none. South Slope can provide your home or business with just about everything that connects you to information. Digital wireless phones, long-distance plans, data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and coming soon to all local servicing areas, digital video TV service. South Slope also rents out a beautiful community center event room in their magnificent new building in North Liberty. When you need anything in the communications field, select South Slope Communications. Visit them at southslope.com.
The Kernels and Bees with identical records of 28 and 31. That's the same record the Peoria Chiefs own, and all three of these clubs are trying to catch Beloit and Kane County, and all three are just 2 back of the Snappers and 2.5 behind Kane County. The Swing of the Quad Cities leads the West with a record of 32 and 26. Bobby Magallanes welcomes Colonel leadoff batter Sean Rodriguez to the plate from his third base coaching box. The Kernels in their red knit batting practice top. We've grown very accustomed in seeing those when we play at home and on the road. Sean got the Kernels off to a good start last night. He singled and then reached second on a throwing error leading off the game. He was 1 for 4. He was then thrown out on a Nate Sutton base hit into left, thrown out trying to score. The game's first pitch is a slider in for a strike to Rodriguez from right-hander Justin Sherman. He's making just his 10th start of the year after relieving in 9 games, including one against the Kernels back on June 13th. Sean belts one deep but foul. Man, did he get a hold of that one as he sends it soaring foul down the left field line, and a long strike 2 on Rodriguez. Sean, a right-handed hitter, batting .246, 11 home runs, 37 driven in to go along with his 26 stolen bases. The right-hander brings it in the dirt, a changeup. The catcher is Damaso Espino. Playing deep at third and only about 8 feet off the line is Ed Lucas. Geraldo Valentin is at short. Gary Perez at second and Big Rusty Brown at first. This Justin Sherman is a tall fella. And his 1-2 pitch is slapped into center for a leadoff single. Sean Rodriguez took it right back where it came from, over the head of the pitcher, and a one-hop single into center field where Cody Cure retrieves it. And Sean Rodriguez has started the game in good shape for the Kernels with a base hit into center. Let's see if the Kernels do some hit and running, some bunt and running, some straight stealing. You never know with Bobby Magallanes' crew. Kernels lead the league with 191 steals in 128 games. It looks like Sutton's being called upon to bunt. He is, and he bunts foul high up into the air. I won't tell you, but there is a colleague and friend in this booth who knows the Kernel signs, and we're going to keep that a secret. In at third is Ed Lucas. He's wise to it now. Kennard Springer's in left for the Burlington Bees. Cody Cure in center and Brian McFall in right. Rodriguez has a good lead at first. Draws a throw and he's back standing up. Brian McFall has a tough Sunfield in right. This ballpark is, like Clinton, one of a kind. The renovations have brought it up to standards that the Kansas City Royals are very pleased with. There's a changeup just low, according to Doug Levy, the plate umpire, 1-1. Nate Sutton's hitting .232. A homer, 19 RBIs. He bunted his way on, stole second, and scored in the sixth inning to give the Kernels a 2-0 lead last night. Kernels won it 4-2. Throw to first and mishandled by Rusty Brown. The ball trickles about 10 feet back towards the pitching mound where Rusty picks it up. Burlington is in white home uniforms. They almost look like milkmen out there with royal blue socks, royal blue caps with gold bills. They look like bees. Ooh, a throw to first, and that one almost skipped by Rusty Brown. And we mentioned last night there's more foul ball ground room here than any park in the league. Burlington's pitching staff has taken advantage of that. They're ranked third in the league with a 4.02 ERA. Rodriguez running and slicing a drive foul way down the left field line, out of play for strike two is Nate Sutton. Sean Rodriguez appeared to have the base stolen, but you credit Nate Sutton. He was protecting Sean and got good wood on it. It's 1-2 to the left-handed batter, Nate Sutton. Nate was 2 for 4 last night. As I mentioned, he singled in the first inning with Rodriguez at second, and Sean was thrown out trying to score from second base, thrown out at the plate. A throw to first. Rodriguez just got back in, hand first. Man, they're still pouring in here to Community Field. Open air structure, no grandstand roof, although there is a modernistic, futuristic-looking convex roof above this press area. A tap to short could be a double play. Throw to second out, throw to first. Wild throw. Sutton will go to second as Rusty Brown has to retrieve it. And I think Sean Rodriguez accidentally shook up Geraldo Valentin. Yes, he did. Sean went in hard. It's Gary Perez who's injured, and Gary Perez was in the middle of that double play attempt by the Bees, and he is really hurt his left ankle. Sean played it hard, played it tough. Gary Perez is being looked over by the trainer. Well, unfortunately, there's only one other infielder, and he's not in the B lineup. He's their only reserve, Eddie Solis. He played last night, and Eddie Solis may have to come in to spell Gary Perez. Let's reset the play. It looks like Perez just wrenched his left ankle and will be able to continue. And listen to this crowd. Sean Rodriguez was forced at second. Valentin to Perez, 6-4. Sean slid hard into the feet of the second baseman, tilted him over, and that's why Nate Sutton was safe at first, and it's also why Nate is at second base in scoring position, because a throwing error was charged to the second baseman, Gary Perez. Freddy Sandoval will try to give the Kernels the lead here in the top of the first inning. Switch hitter batting left with an open stance. No score as there's one out and a runner in scoring position. A changeup is up and away, ball one to Freddy Sandoval. Freddy's wearing a bright pair of white batting gloves, also has his wrist taped. Singled and scored the go-ahead run in last night's Kernel win in the 8th inning. Freddy was 1 for 4. Sutton draws a throw at second. Well, no, he doesn't. A fake throw. Sherman held on to it as the shortstop, Geraldo Valentin, tiptoed in behind Nate Sutton. Sandoval, a .285 hitter, waiting patiently. 3 homers and 59 runs driven in for Freddy. And a changeup is downstairs for ball 2. For a big guy, Justin Sherman does not appear to throw that hard, and his numbers indicate that. In 78 innings, he surrendered 83 hits, struck out 46 men in 78 innings, but walked only 15. Sutton at second with 1 out here in the first inning. Freddy takes low and in a fastball, 3-0 to Sandoval. Often, Bobby Magallanes, even with the base open at first, he'll turn a guy loose on 3-0. I'd love to go to Las Vegas with Bobby Magallanes. He'd bet the house on every game. And I like that kind of attitude towards life. Ball 4 is low. A 4-pitch walk to Freddy Sandoval. And the Kernels have runners at first and second with only 1 out here in the first inning for all-star catcher Michael Collins. Michael has a ritual which he goes through when he steps into the box. Now he's out of the box. Does a few neck rolls. Adjusts his batting gloves. They're red and white. Michael stands very close to the plate. And he leads the Kernels. I couldn't count, but I bet he's been hit 13 or 14 times this season. Todd Brummelkamp may have that information. A slider is in for a strike call to Michael Collins, third in the league with a .316 average. 7 homers, drove in his 57th run of the year last night with a RBI double in the 8th inning that plated the go-ahead run. Let's see how close my guess was on Collins. 18 times. I was a little low. I knew he'd been hit a bunch. Ball outside, a snap throw to first, and I mean Sandoval just got back. Just did get back by a whisker. Oh, brother, Damaso Espino threw in behind the runner. Sandoval at first. Freddy is trying to shake out some dirt that is lodged underneath his belt buckle. That's how furiously he had to dive back into the bag at first. Sutton at second. Freddy Sandoval at first. The 1-1 to Michael Collins. Breaking pitch low for a ball. I'm telling you, if there was a rule in baseball that you had to take less than 30 seconds between pitches, Justin Sherman would have to find another line of work. He works very, very slowly. In fact, I'm guessing he takes about 30 seconds between deliveries. Collins, cocking his bat behind his right ear, waits patiently, and now the right-hander fidgeting, looks and twirls and does not throw back to second where Nate Sutton scrambles back in. Outfield plays Michael deep and straight away. We're in the top of the first inning, no score. Kernels with runners at first and second and 1 out. The B-tall right-hander comes set at the letters and delivers just high for ball 3. Man, are the Kernels having disciplined at bats here in the top of the first inning, because Sherman is not missing by that much. I know you Hawkeye fans will remember a quarterback when I first joined the Kernels in the mid-90s named Matt Sherman. Last I heard, he was in the Arena Football League. Collins loops a 3-1 pitch high and foul up into the first base stands. There are only 4 rows of green box seats here at Community Field, but they're brand new box seats, state of the art. And then behind those seats, a green railing, a concrete aisle, and then 15 rows of silver aluminum bleachers that do not have backs. The bullpens, as Todd and I talked about last night, are way, way down the lines, practically out of sight. The runners will be going, in my opinion. There they go. And a foul. That one got the catcher, I hope not in the throat. Oh, brother, Damaso Espino shaken up, and Michael Collins can sure relate to that anguish as Collins, with the runners going on a full count pitch, thrashed it into the upper torso of Damaso Espino. He's trying to put himself back together. Espino wears one of those conventional catcher's masks, not the Charlie O'Brien hockey goalie-like masks that have kind of crept into the game in great abundance. Lights are on, sun shining brightly. Will the runners be off on this next pitch? No. Well, we don't know yet because the right-hander stepped off the rubber. Last night's game was played in a brisk 2 hours and 31 minutes. Tonight, concession sales will be good because I think we're in for a 3-hour game. Perhaps not with Carl Jelena on the mound. He takes 8 seconds between pitches. I've timed him many times. Collins chokes up on the bat. The next payoff pitch, the runners go, and a high fly ball into straightaway right. Easy for Brian McFall. He's camped under it. One-hands it for the second out of the inning. Michael Collins was at bat for what seemed like 15 minutes, and on a 3-2 pitch with the runners going, he hoisted it into right, where McFall made the play without moving a step. 2 on, 2 out for Josh LeBlanc. LeBlanc's a very aggressive swinger. He swings early and often in counts. Josh doubled with 2 out in the 6th last night. He stocked a double over the head of the right fielder, Brian McFall. The outfield wall here is plywood. And attached to the plywood are vinyl advertising signs. Big lead at second by Sutton. I mean, he has a bold lead. He was daring, just daring, Justin Sherman to step off the rubber or throw back there, and Sherman chose the former. He stepped off. Sutton is getting what's called a walking lead at second base. LeBlanc, the key man in the inning. And a breaking pitch low for ball 1. There was a game this afternoon. State Farm Insurance agents Dale Thompson, Al Shetler, Gary Shubat, and Lanny Peterson bring us the State Farm Major League scoreboard. And the Marlins continue to add to the Cub miseries as they turn back the Cubs today 7-5 at Wrigley. There's a strike to Josh LeBlanc. I'd love to, well, let's see, down below, Ronnie Ray and Francisco Cordova probably do have radar guns, and I don't think Sherman is throwing hard enough at this point in the game to break a pane of glass, but you don't have to throw hard to be effective. We know that. Here's a throw to second, and it hits Sutton and dribbles into left field. They may try to wave Sutton home, and he stops at third. And a wise decision by Bobby Magallanes. You never know with Bobby. He usually just keeps those arms windmilling and sends runners towards the plate. That's the second error of the inning, and this one is charged to the pitcher. A throwing error as Justin Sherman struck the runner Sutton with his pickoff attempt. Not only did Nate advance to third, but Freddy Sandoval was alert, and he sped into second. Now a base hit by LeBlanc with 2 out would likely give the Kernels a 2-0 lead here in the first inning. The 1-1. Outside for ball 2. There's one thing to work deliberately. There's another to work cautiously, and Justin Sherman just looks like he's working very cautiously. You have to kind of adjust to his slow pace. Ground ball to deep short, and a good play by Valentin to throw out LeBlanc. Boy, LeBlanc hit that ball hard to the left side of the B infield. Geraldo Valentin was almost handcuffed by it and bobbled it for a moment, but then he got the fleet-footed Colonel number 5 hitter LeBlanc short to first to end the inning. Well, for as long as the Kernels were at bat, you'd think we'd score a couple of runs, but no runs on 1 hit, 2 B errors, and the Kernels leave a pair. Well, we'll see a stark contrast in philosophies. Carl Jelena he'll work quickly, and that's why one of the many reasons he's been so good this year. After 1/2 inning at Community Field, Kernels nothing, Burlington coming to the plate. You're enjoying Kernel Baseball in the Zone.
Take out the papers and the trash.
Before you take out the trash, remember to recycle glass bottles and jars, most plastic packaging materials, paper products, and cardboard. Unfortunately, there are items that cannot be recycled, including plastic bags. They can be reused or put in your trash containers for curbside collection. Styrofoam can also be discarded with the rest of your trash and garbage. Cedar Rapids Solid Waste and Recycling thanks you for your efforts to reduce waste and save landfill space.
This Small Business Minute is brought to you by Quest, the spirit of service in action.
A lot of workplace injuries can be avoided, keeping insurance costs down and saving employers and workers millions of dollars each year. If you're an employer, consider putting into place a safety program. Appoint a person within your company, preferably someone who's already familiar with day-to-day operations, as safety manager. That person then implements the safety program, which includes motivating, educating, and training employees. A safety program can be quite simple and doesn't have to take a lot of valuable company time and resources. But it should include basics such as written rules and procedures for new employees, periodic inspections, accident investigation, first aid care, and an effective return-to-work program.
The Small Business Minute, helping America's small businesses achieve their dreams. Brought to you by Quest, the spirit of service in action.
The Kernels threatened, had a hit, a walk, and Burlington committed 2 errors in the top of the first, but the Kernels just couldn't cash in. Carl Jelena making his 23rd start of the year with a 4.15 ERA, coming off that magnificent 8 1/3 shutout innings in Clinton last Saturday, pitching the Kernels to a 4-0 win over the Lumber Kings. Leading off for Burlington is their Puerto Rican shortstop, Geraldo Valentin. Valentin actually attended Southern Arkansas University, and he hit .347 with Idaho Falls last season in the Pioneer League. Carl Jelena fires a strike called to the right-handed hitting leadoff batter. This season, Valentin hitting .236, 3 homers, 41 driven in. Jelena has a classic full windup, and there's strike 2 on the inside corner at the knees. By that, let me paint you the picture. He starts with his hands in front of his chin, rocks back, lifts his hands together above his head, brings his hands below his belt, and then brings them back to his midsection and delivers low for a ball. Carl Jelena on a 1-2 delivery. And a breaking pitch low and away, swung on and missed by Geraldo Valentin, strike 3. Well, Todd Brummelkamp has just handed me he's facetiously calling it a useless fact. It's a fun fact. Carl Jelena was the 1,391st player taken in the 2002 draft. And what a credit to him that he is a bona fide prospect for the Angels. He was the last Canadian taken. I wonder how many Canadians were taken in 2002. I bet at least 18 or 20 in that year. Ball one outside to Ed Lucas. He's a Dartmouth man. And a bouncer over the hill, charged by Sutton. Nate sidearms to first and gets Ed Lucas. Ed tapped it over the head of the pitcher Jelena, and Sutton had to charge in to glove it on the second hop and got his man 2 away here in the B first inning. What did I tell you about how fast the pace would go with Jelena on the hill? Here's Damaso Espino. This fella's been around since the year 2000. He's 22 years old. He was the 40th Canadian taken. Well, that's double what I thought. And what a tribute to our great neighbors up north to have 40 men drafted in 2002 out of that state or that country known more for hockey. Strike 1 to Damaso Espino, a fastball. Damaso hitting .288, no homers, 38 runs driven in, no score. We're in the bottom of the first inning on a lovely Friday here in Burlington. Espino hits a rocket to left. Back goes Giannotti, and the G-man spears it. Oh, brother, did Damaso Espino ever crush an 0-1 pitch from Jelena, and he ripped it right at Giannotti. Actually, Richard had to take 2 quick steps back to make the play and left. Damaso Espino smacked it hard, lines out to left to end the Burlington first inning. The Kernels were at bat 15 minutes. The Bees were at bat for 3.5 minutes. And after 1 inning, Kernels nothing, Burlington nothing. You're tuned to Kernel Baseball in the Zone.
Your home is a powerful asset. Managed wisely, it can help you with home improvements, tuition, and other expenses. Wells Fargo home equity financing is the key. With flexible terms, competitive rates, and affordable payments. Our bankers have the knowledge and resources to help you find the best financing for your needs. Talk with a Wells Fargo banker today and see how home equity financing can help you reach your next stage. Wells Fargo, the next stage, equal housing lender.
It's important information for all Iowa corn producers. It's the August issue of Checkoff Connection newsletter from your Iowa Corn Promotion Board. As part of the Iowa Corn Checkoff program's ongoing effort to increase market acceptance of biotech corn throughout the world, 2 Iowa corn growers traveled to South Africa this spring to give African decision makers a side-by-side comparison of biotech and conventional corn. livestock feed is the #1 use for Iowa's corn. That's why, in addition to supporting responsible livestock farmers, the ICPB is funding programs to help maintain and expand the dairy and cattle industries in Iowa. The good news for ethanol continues in Iowa. This winter, Iowa took the lead as the #1 producer of ethanol. Now, reports show that more Iowans than ever are choosing ethanol-blended fuels, and more auto technicians are recommending it to their customers. These stories and more can be found in the August issue of Checkoff Connection. Look for it in the August 27th edition of Iowa Farmer Today.
Kernels nothing, Bees nothing, as Justin Sherman gets set to face Madrigal, Giannotti, and Renz here in the second inning. Warner socked his 13th home run of the year last night. It broke a scoreless tie in the top of the fifth inning. Madrigal is hit safely in his last 7 ball games. By virtue of his 1-2-3 bottom of the first inning, Carl Jelena has now racked up 9 1/3 scoreless innings dating back to his magnificent start Saturday in Clinton, in which he hurled 8 1/3 beautiful innings. Here's a ball hit sharply through the left side. That's a leadoff single for Warner Madrigal. Warner grounded it between Ed Lucas and Geraldo Valentin into left, where Kennard Springer gets it back in, and for the second straight inning, the Kernels have their leadoff man on with a leadoff single. Boy, Warner looked good as he waited back on that pitch and cracked it hard on the ground into left. Our final 4 regular season home games of the year are coming up quickly. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. The 29th, 30th, 31st, and September 1st. And we'll be playing the team that leads the Western Division second half standings, the Swing of the Quad Cities. They're a Cardinal affiliate, and it's their one and only trip into Veterans Memorial Stadium. So if you're in that Cardinal Nation like I am, come on out and watch future Redbirds take on our Los Angeles Angel minor leaguers. Oh, Richard Giannotti took a ball, and then on the next pitch, almost pulled off a beautifully executed fake bunt. He pulled the bat back and then slapped it foul into the screen. I think there's a big lump in Ed Lucas's throat at third base. Richard scented a bunt and then pulled the bat back and swatted the pitch into the net with strike 1. Richard, a switch hitter batting left, batting .234, 3 homers, 27 driven in. From the stretch, Sherman deals a pitch in the dirt, and holding it first is Madrigal. Richard took that changeup for ball 2. Second inning, no score. Kernels have a runner at first. Madrigal with nobody out. A huge cotton ball-like billowing cloud above the right field wall. Man, is that a brilliant bright white. But then it just disappears lower in the cloud to virtually gray. There goes the runner, and a swing and a nubber foul off the foot of Giannotti. And that's strike 2 to Richard. Well, Bobby Magallanes trying to do something to kind of force the issue against this slow-working right-hander. Justin Sherman had Madrigal breaking towards second on a hit and run. Richard Giannotti tipped it foul at his feet. There's a giant gyrating mascot fireman. The Fill the Boot campaign is started here in southeastern Iowa, and that big fireman with a Fu Manchu black mustache is like the Pied Piper. He's in yellow fire pants with red suspenders. There's ball 3 outside to Richard, the count full. Man, it's amazing when you get one of those gyrating mascots walking around a ballpark. Kids just fall in line like he is the Pied Piper. They look at him, they gaze, they tug at him, they punch him in the stomach. They don't think he's real. Well, in a sense, he's not. There goes the runner, and a base hit into right. There goes the runner, and a base hit into right. Madrigal will go to third. The throw there not in time. Richard Giannotti on a 3-2 pitch drilled it into right field. Madrigal was running on the 3-2 pitch, and he raced to third ahead of the throw by Brian McFall. The G-man is high-fived at first by Justin Bachman, the Kernel hitting coach, and the Kernels are in business. Runners at the corners with nobody out here in the top of the second inning in a scoreless game. Man, oh man, did Richard Giannotti ever do his job with the runner Madrigal going. Richard lined a full count pitch over the head of the second baseman Gary Perez into right field. Madrigal doesn't run real well, but he was able to make it to third ahead of McFall's throw. Now Jordan Renz, who drove in a run in the ninth last night with a sacrifice fly, could give the Kernels the lead this evening. And a slow curveball drops in for a strike to the Kernel right-handed hitter Renz. Jordan with a sinking line drive sacrifice fly into center last night drove in pinch runner Richard Giannotti to make it 4-2 Kernels. That's the score by which the Kernels turn back the Bees. A throw to first, and Richard pedals back standing up. This crowd is remarkably quiet for being as big as it is. We have a good gathering here tonight. Renz, a right-handed batter, waiting for the 0-1. And he corks it off the mound to short, double play. Step on second, out, throw to first, out, and 1-0 Kernels. Jordan Renz will not be credited with an RBI as he wrapped one off the left of the mound. It took a perfect hop to Geraldo Valentin near the base at second. Geraldo took care of business. That is, he looked the ball into his glove, then stepped on second to force Giannotti, winged it to first for an easy 6-3 twin killing. Well, that's just what the Bees wanted, was a double play. Takes the Kernels out of a big inning possibility, but let's be grateful for being ahead in this game 1-0. Ball one low to Chris Walston. 1-0 Kernels. You aren't, as an official scorer, permitted to credit a man with a RBI when he hits into a double play. There's a swing and a miss by Walston, strike one. Chris hitting 160. 11 homers, 24 driven in. Ball two is low. Yes, we're playing the Swing of the Quad Cities starting Monday, the 29th of August. 7 o'clock games, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I've told you a little bit about Fan Appreciation Night, September 1st. That game is a 7 o'clock start. We've had several phone calls saying, well, in the past when we turn the calendar into September, you guys start at 6:30. No, the regular season finale will be at 7. Ball two just missed downstairs to big Chris Walston from tall right-hander Justin Sherman. 1-0 Kernels, bases empty, 2 away. Top of the second here at Community Field, where the sun is no longer a factor. Ooh, a half-hearted swing as Walston was fooled on that 2-2 pitch, and he fans to end the Kernel second inning. The Kernels strike for 1 run on 2 base hits. There were no B errors, and the Kernels leave nobody aboard. This game moves into the home half of the second with the Kernels on top of the Burlington Bees, 1-0. You're enjoying Kernel baseball in the zone.
With 167 horsepower, the new BMW K1200R is the world's fastest naked bike. This means that after one scorching, adrenaline-fueled ride, you'll be so amped up that you'll need something to help you come back down. Try listening to this, and good luck. This peaceful, rather insipid music is specifically designed to lower extreme levels of excitement caused by riding the K1200R. There, that should be enough. You should be back to an unexcited, unaroused, completely blasé state of utter normalcy now.
See the incredible new K1200R, the world's fastest naked bike, at Gina's BMW Motorcycles in Iowa City. The ride is on.
KCRG TV9 gives you more local news from around eastern Iowa. The important news of the day from where you live. And you get more live news from the scene of breaking stories, bringing you the news as it happens. Plus, with news updates on the hour and more local newscasts throughout your day, 7 days a week, you get more depth, more detail, more complete story coverage. More news, more often, from KCRG TV9 News.
Rusty Brown is first up for the Bees as they bat in the home half of the second. 1-0 Kernels. Burlington has struggled offensively all season. I told you they're third in the league in pitching. Their team batting average is 14th of 14 teams. They're batting .242. They're second to last in the league in home runs with 65 homers in 129 games. This batter, Rusty Brown, has 16 of their 65 home runs. Carl Jelena's first pitch is over but low, a fastball. Rusty, 6'3", 210. I said last night I think he's much bigger and stronger than that. And he chops it to third on 2 hops. Freddy Sandoval has it and on to first for the first out of the second inning. That's 4 in a row retired by right-hander Carl Jelena. Boy, is this Colonel Ball Club looking sharp. And believe me, they are a hungry, motivated team. They think their best baseball is ahead of them. Rusty Brown, 0 for 4 last night, is bounced out to third. That brings up Brian McFall, 1 for 3 in the series opener last night. McFall was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded in the 6th inning. That tied the game 2-2. Brian was 1 for 3. Line drive up the middle. That was hit hard. Rodriguez dives to his left, makes a good play to slow it down and smother it, but it's a hit all the way for Brian McFall. McFall hit it sharply, drilled it through the box. Sean made a very fine effort as he dove to his left, skidded on the wet grass in shallow center. It's an infield single for Brian McFall. Man, McFall last year with Idaho Falls in 68 games, he hit .359. But with Burlington, he struggled in 53 games. Brian hit only .172. McFall's at first, and out to the hill, Michael Collins, the catcher. Collins is wearing red shin guards and a red chest protector. A red Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim helmet. Kennard Springer at the plate for Burlington. He was 0 for 4 last night. Kennard is 5'11", 210. I'll tell you who he reminds me of as he rocks his bat back and forth, front to back, and looks at a pitch over but low for ball 1. Kennard Springer reminds me a little bit of a former Chicago White Sox by the name of Walt No Neck Williams. Walt played for the White Sox in the mid-60s and early 70s, and he was built very compactly and a strong fella. And the reason they gave him that nickname, No Neck, he was built as though he didn't have a neck. Like his shoulders just turned into his face without any stem or Adam's apple. McFall has good speed. He's 15 for 18 on the year in stolen base attempts. He draws a throw, and he's back ahead of the tag by Chris Walston. Second inning, 1-0 Kernels. 1 on, 1 out for Burlington. They're second in the league to the Kernels in steals. The Bees have swiped 163 bases in 129 games. Springer's a right-handed batter. There goes the runner, and a pitch is laced foul, out of play down the right side, strike 1 to Kennard Springer. So Joe Gabella, the highly respected manager for the Burlington Bees, had Brian McFall running. Kennard Springer on the year is batting .227. 3 home runs, 29 driven in. Springer last year in Burlington hit .235 in 85 games. Kennard's from Mississippi. The runner not going, and ball 2 low and outside from the Colonel right-hander. Jelena always wears a red shirt underneath his uniform top, and the red shirt comes just beyond his sleeves and just above his elbows. Colonels in their all navy blue caps tonight. There goes the runner, a pitch low and no throw as Michael Collins has it leak out of his mitt, and the tying run is at second with 1 out here in the second inning. That's the 16th steal of the year in 19 tries for Brian McFall. Meanwhile, the count has gone 3-1 to Kennard Springer. Springer was a high draft pick of Kansas City. In 2002, he was taken in the 8th round. This is his 4th year of professional baseball. His best year came in his 2nd season with the Arizona Rookie League Royals. He hit .346 in 49 games. Ooh, a borderline pitch, and Doug Levy calls it outside, ball 4. Levy's strike zone is small, I'll tell you that. So the Bees add to their scoring threat, a 1-out walk And walks are as rare by Carl Jelena as rain is in San Diego. Carl has issued just his 19th walk of the year in 131 1/3 innings. That's why I think that last pitch was a strike. I really do. Now the Kernels have to face Gary Perez. He has pretty good speed. First and second, 1 out, second inning, 1-0 Kernels. Oh, a pitch in the dirt, and the runners move up to second and third. One of them may try to score. Michael Collins has to really hustle over in front of the Kernel dugout. That's a wild pitch from Carl Jelena, only his 5th of the season. Well, Kerman Ronan should come out at any moment. Carl is trying to be too fine with his pitches right now. And I'm not saying you rear back and groove one for a guy to lace out of the ballpark, but Carl Jelena needs to come after the hitter just a little more assertively. A very, very good situation for the Kernels. When they score first, they're 44-26. They lead here tonight, second inning, 1-0, but the Bees have runners at second and third with 1 out. And a swing and a miss on a good changeup by the right-handed hitter, Gary Perez. Kernels led last night 2-0. Burlington tied it 2-2, but the Kernels won it, and that added to their remarkable record when scoring first, 44-26. McFall at third, Kennard Springer at second. And a pitch has the batter doing the limbo to get out of the way. It was high and tight. Gary Perez has only played in 18 games for Burlington. He's a little guy, a right-handed batter who wears his white home trousers all the way down to his shoe tops. Real name is Wilbur, but he goes by Gary. And Jelena comes in on the batter's fist, and Perez loops it foul into the first base seat. 2-2 the count. Gary Perez on the year in 18 games has 3 homers, 7 RBIs. This fella hit .366 last season with Salcedo. I think that's the Royals Dominican team. Another foul just outside the dirt batting circle off to the right. Cody Cure on deck. He had 2 of Burlington's 7 hits last night. Cody Cure. Well, we're going to have Todd tell you a little more about Gary Perez later on this evening. I didn't have time due to a workout, and I know that sounds funny, but sometimes my peace of mind and physical well-being takes precedent. I got in a nice workout at the Y down the street earlier this afternoon and didn't have a chance to read Randy Wayhofer's very informative game notes, and I think I'll wait and have Todd tell you the interesting story behind Gary Perez during the middle 3 innings, and it is a fun story. Gary chokes the bat, lays it on his back shoulder, and grounds it to short. That'll tie the game. Scooping is Rodriguez. Sean throws to get the batter. Gary Perez ties this game 1-1 as he grounds out to short. That's his 8th RBI of the year. The Colonel infield was willing to trade a run for an out, and that's exactly what the Bees did, and the Kernels did. They exchanged a run for an out. On to third, the go-ahead run, Kennard Springer, and Gary Perez is glad-handed in the Bee third base dugout. He put the ball in play on a 2-strike count. Now the Kernels try to get Cody Cure. He's only 5'8", and he started Burlington's 2-run 6th inning with a line drive base hit to right last night. A grounder to third, cut off by Sandoval, who throws wildly, and what a pick by Chris Walston. The crowd moans. They thought Walston was pulled off the base, but Chris stretched his 6'6" frame to his right, and no argument. I thought Patrick Anderson, the first base coach, was arguing with Victor Carapazza. He did not. Cody Cure swinging at the first pitch, bounced it to the left side. Sandoval cut it off and then rushed his throw, almost threw it away, but Chris Walston leaned out to the right field side of the bag and snared it. The Bees tie the game in the second with 1 run on 1 hit. no Colonel errors, a costly wild pitch, and Burlington leaves one aboard. As we go to the third inning, the Colonels and Bees are tied at 1, and you're tuned to Colonel Baseball in the Zone.
ESPN Classic.
Get the network that brings you the greatest sports in history.
From Namath to Koufax.
From McEnroe to Jordan.
The greatest heroes.
In their greatest games.
Plus, the Emmy and Peabody Award-winning Sports Century.
Revealing profiles inside the lives of legends.
And real classics.
Movies for sports fans every Sunday night.
No wonder the LA Times calls ESPN Classic the best channel on television.
To get ESPN Classic, call your local cable or satellite provider now.
You may remember this classic call.
I don't believe what I just saw.
But as Mike and Mike in the Morning learned, Kirk Gibson did believe what he was seeing.
We're pleased to welcome Kirk Gibson to Mike and Mike in the Morning.
Our scout, Mel Didier, had watched Dennis pitch for years, and he personally told me that if I got into a 3-2 count with the game on the line against Dennis Eckersley, to look for a 3-2 backdoor slider. And when Dennis went into a stretch position, I called timeout, and I said, partner, as sure as you're standing here breathing, you're going to see a 3-2 backdoor slider. And I stepped in, and I got the slider, and my legs were not real good, but I put a really good swing with my upper body and my hands on it, and it went out.
Home run for Gibson, and the Dodgers have won the game 5-4. I don't believe what I just saw.
It's Mike and Mike in the Morning.
Unbelievable!
Weekdays on ESPN Radio.
Third inning at Community Field in Burlington. Boy, the renovations and improvements they've made to this ballpark since I broke into the league in 1996 are absolutely awe-inspiring. There's a shed down the right field line that houses a hitting tunnel. The Bees use it as a source of revenue. They rent it out during the winter months to Southeast Community College, the local high schools as well. Ball one outside to the Colonel leadoff batter, Sean Rodriguez. 1-1 our score. Ooh, that strike zone of Doug Levy continues to shrink. That was a good-looking pitch low to Sean, who wears his Red Sox up high. Rodriguez laced a single into center, but was forced at second in the first inning. Ball 3 is low from Justin Sherman, the right-hander. A Buck a Cup Wednesday, part of our upcoming homestand with the Swing of the Quad Cities, Wednesday, August 31st. For just $1, you can enjoy a 12-ounce beer or 12-ounce soda pop. A 4-pitch walk issued by Sherman. The 3-0 delivery was high and inside. Sean Rodriguez reaches for the second time in a row. Physicians Clinic of Iowa, the exclusive health care provider of the Kernels, with our Physicians Clinic of Iowa injury report. Drew Toussaint is sidelined this evening with a sore left forearm. He was struck by a pitch in the 9th inning last night. Rodriguez runs, a chopper to second. Second baseman shortstop steps on second, out, throw to first, out, and a double play. I'll be darned. Wow, Nate Sutton swinging at the first pitch, wrapped it up the middle. That's exactly where Geraldo Valentin was headed towards second, and Geraldo gloved it, stepped on second, just ahead of the sliding Sean Rodriguez, then gunned to first, and all of a sudden, the Colonel momentum is extinguished on a 6-3 double play. Man, oh man, credit Nate Sutton for putting the ball in play with Rodriguez running, but unfortunately, he hit it up the middle right where Valentin was headed to cover the base. Now a bunt by Sandoval, and it whistles into the Burlington dugout, strike one. Man, oh man, a leadoff walk, and then on the very next pitch, the Bees turn their second double play of the evening. 1-1 our score. Bases empty, 2 gone. Freddy Sandoval, the batter. Freddy walked in the first inning, and a bouncer over the hill. This will be a tough play for Gary Perez. He makes it, throws it away, and Freddy Sandoval takes a left turn and races to second. That is the third error committed by the Bees in this game. Freddy Sandoval will be, well, they could give him a base hit and an error, and it is. It is a hit and an error. Freddy chopped it weakly over the pitcher's head. Gary Perez made a very good play to come in and glove it, but then made a poor throw low, and it got underneath the glove of Big Rusty Brown. And with all the foul ball ground room here in Burlington, it was easy for Freddy to hang a left and rumble into second. That is the third error committed by Burlington. We're only in the third inning. 1-1 the score. Michael Collins will try to make the Bees pay for their third error of the game. And the deuce is low, ball one. Errors tonight on Burlington's pitcher, second, and 2 on the second baseman. That's the second error on Gary Perez tonight. 1-0 pitch to Michael Collins. Low and away, ball 2. We did face Justin Sherman in a 8-3 Burlington trouncing of the Kernels back in our ballpark on June 13th. He pitched 3 innings in relief, gave us 1 run on 3 hits, struck out 1, walked none. This is his 10th start of the year. The league hitting .267 against Justin Sherman. Michael bounces it to third. Ed Lucas has it. The long throw in time, and the Kernels cannot break through despite a walk, hit, and error in the third inning, a double play between those. Michael Collins bounces out to third to end the Kernel third inning. No runs for the Kernels, 1 hit, 1 B error, their third of the game, and the Kernels leave a runner. We've stranded 3. And after 2.5 here in Burlington, Kernels and Bees tied at 1. You're tuned to Kernel Baseball in the Zone.
I'm Dave Shea. For 35 years, I was a news anchor for Channel 2. You may also have seen me driving around Cedar Rapids in my Honda Accord. Well, I've retired from broadcasting, but I haven't given up my Honda. For years, I've told friends they should consider owning a Honda, specifically from Randy Keel Honda. Randy is a local dealer with 13 years of experience in matching drivers to the right vehicle. He has a fine selection of new Hondas, as well as quality pre-owned vehicles. And more than just a reliable service department, Randy Keel Honda offers Confidence, a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty on every new vehicle sold. You can take my word for it, but you may also want to talk with other Honda owners. They're people you know, your friends, your neighbors, maybe even your relatives. And you can do more homework by logging on to Randy's website at www.randykeel.com. I'm a satisfied Honda owner, and I'm sure you will be too. See Randy Keel Honda today on Center Point Road Northeast.
Mike and Mike in the Morning's Just Shut Up Award is about more than merely pointing out stupidity.
It's about the Bill of Rights and basic cable, call waiting, and free trips to the salad bar. It's about everything that makes this country great.
Yes, it's about freedom. Freedom for people to say something completely moronic.
Shut up!
And it's also about the freedom for you to tell that person to
just shut up.
So exercise that freedom. Tuesday mornings with Mike and Mike in the Morning on ESPN Radio.
Burlington's DH, number 9 hitter Darwinson Salazar will lead off against Carl Jelena, bottom of the third. 1-1 the score. Darwinson is hitting just .155 in 56 games. Darwinson Salazar is from Venezuela. He's 22 years old. He's a right-handed hitter. Has good size, 6'3", 210, but he struggled this season. Carl's first pitch. Over, a curve, strike 1. A great friend of the Kernels is Tom Kelly, and Tom has won a prize from the Bim Ritter Diamond Shop, his last night's Kernel Roadshow Trivia Challenge question winner. We'll have another one for you a little bit later this evening. Last evening, we told you that the 1976 AL batting race came down to the last at-bats in the 9th inning of the final game of the season between 2 Kansas City teammates. Here's a high fly ball way back into center, way back, and what a catch by LeBlanc! LeBlanc turned left, turned right, turned the wrong way, spun, circled, and then caught it. Wow, Darwinson Salazar has an extra base hit taken away from him on a terrific catch in deep, deep, deep right center field by Josh LeBlanc. LeBlanc must think that the drought needs some more rain. Needs rain. He did a rain dance underneath that ball, but all that matters, style points don't. All that matters is that LeBlanc caught it I think he gave Todd Brummelkamp a case of the willies. Here's a ground ball to short, and Rodriguez has it, pegs out Geraldo Valentin, 2 away here in the third inning, 1-1 the score. Valentin's 0 for 2 as he grounds to short. Well, Tom Kelly, who hasn't missed but one Iowa football game in 35 years, correctly identified the Royal teammates as George Brett and Hal McRae as the two men that battled it out for the 1976 batting title in the AL. Brett hit 3-3-3-3. McRae hit 3-3-2-1. Here's a high pop-up into right field, and coming in is Renz. He waits and has it. Oh, wait a minute! Wait a minute! Wait a minute! I was putting... Oh, my goodness! It dropped! Oh, my! Oh, Ed Lucas winds up at second base as the go-ahead run. That's the first Kernel error of the night. It hit off the heel of Jordan's mitt, and that's his third error of the season. Well, I don't know what happened. I was putting 9 in my book, indicating a put-out for Jordan Renz. The crowd hooted and hollered. I looked up, and Ed Lucas was at second base. Well, the Bees have pitched around 3 errors tonight. Let's see if Carl Jelena can pitch around a 2-out error and keep this a tie game. First pitch to Damaso Espino. Low, ball 1. In that American League showdown between teammates at Kauffman Stadium in 1976, George Brett led off the 9th inning with what appeared to be a routine fly to left. I'll never forget it. Steve Bry, the twin outfielder, misjudged it or misplayed it, and it fell for what turned out to be, of all things, an inside-the-park home run. It bounced over his head. Here's a line drive into right. Renz is there and has it. Jordan Renz has it on a line drive shot by Damaso Espino. Second time Espino has stung the ball hard. He lines out to right. Renz caught it. No runs in the third for the Bees. No hits, 1 Kernel error, and Burlington leaves 1. They've stranded 2. Well, anyhow, after Steve Bry misplayed that inside-the-park home run, Brett had the lead in the batting title race. Hal McRae, the next hitter, the DH, bounced out to short, and that gave the batting title to George Brett. Hal McRae screamed across the diamond to Gene Mock, the twin manager, accused him of having ordered Steve Bry to mess up the fly ball and give Brett the batting title. After the game, Hal McRae escalated his charges. He said that Gene Mock wanted a white man to win the batting title instead of a black player, and both Gene Mock and Steve Bry completely denied the allegations. Tom Kelly, congratulations, last night's Kernel Roadshow Trivia Challenge question winner. Through 3 innings in Burlington, a 1-1 game. Todd Brummelkamp set to take you through the middle 3. He'll have those middle 3 innings for you in a moment. 1-1 our score after 3. This is Kernel Baseball in the Zone.
Everyone wants their print and copy needs to be done right and to be done on time. Copyworks will meet those expectations. Copyworks will see to it that your work is of the highest quality. They'll do that by consulting with you at your place of work. Copyworks stands behind their work for you. It will be done right and it will be done on time. You can count on Copyworks to come through for you. When it's important to you, Copyworks lets your work shine through.
Copyworks, Copyworks.
Hi, this is Dave Town with Five Seasons Transportation and Parking. Do you ever wonder if it's safe to send your child on the bus? It is, and here's a few reasons why. All the buses in Cedar Rapids are equipped with security cameras, so the drivers always know what's happening behind them. The buses also have global positioning systems, or GPS, which means they can be tracked at any time by satellite. Does that surprise you? It shouldn't. Five Seasons Transportation takes safety very seriously, and we've taken many steps to make sure your child will have a safe, easy ride every time they take the bus. Even when your child isn't on the bus, Five Seasons Transportation is helping keep them safe by using pollution-free biodiesel and alcohol fuels, Iowa products that help keep the air clean. And if your child is ever in trouble, they can always flag down a bus for help. I'm Dave Town, and I like to think of the bus as a traveling safety cocoon, motoring along Cedar Rapids streets. And keep in mind, if the bus is that safe and easy for your child, maybe you should think about riding the bus to work. Affordable, convenient, and safe. That's the bus. Ride it.
Yeah, welcome back to Community Field, where Josh LeBlanc tries to bunt his way on for a single. Instead, it's fielded by Ed Lucas, who throws on to Rusty Brown at first for the first out of the inning. Colonel Sports Information Director Todd Brownkamp, alongside the voice of the Colonels, John Rogers, from Community Field in Burlington, Iowa, where we are in the midst of a 1-1 ball game in the top of the fourth inning. Coming out of break, Josh LeBlanc squares and bunts the very first pitch he sees. It was a good bunt, but Ed Lucas had a feeling something was up. He came in, charged that ball, and made the play. Now here's Warner Madrigal, who looks at a ball high. Madrigal scored the Colonels' only run tonight. He reached on a ground ball single to left in the second, moved to third base on a single by Richard Giannotti, and scored on a ground ball double play by Jordan Wren. Madrigal being very patient at the plate as he watches a pitch outside of the zone. He leads in the count 2-0 against the big right-hander Sherman. Now it's 3-0. We'll have some very important Midwest League scores to give to you later in the broadcast. And let me tell you, as of this moment, things are looking very good for the Cedar Rapids Colonels. Warner Madrigal has the red light on ball 4 as the big Colonel-designated hitter will make his way down to first base. Warner thanked me for my vote of confidence in him last night. Of course, he homered for the Colonel's first run, a deep, towering fly ball to left center field here, and I went down and felt obliged to tell Warner he was going to have a good game again tonight. And so far, the big Colonel-designated hitter has not disappointed. He's on first base with one out, and it'll be Richard Giannotti, the Colonel left fielder, stepping into the box. First pitch is a slider over for strike one. Giannotti had the single to right in the second inning that moved Madrigal from first to third. The Colonels will get bonus points for that. Madrigal going from first to third on a mere base hit by Giannotti. Giannotti batting from the left-hand side of the plate against the right-hander Sherman. Madrigal a very conservative lead over at first as Giannotti fouls the ball out of the stadium. Lots of action to get to in the Midwest League tonight. One of the teams that is ahead of the Colonels, the Beloit Snappers, at Dayton. And at Fifth Third Field, it's the Dayton Dragons on top of the Snappers, 2-0. That game is in the seventh inning stretch right now. Giannotti ready to take the third pitch from Sherman. He's in an 0-2 hole. There's the pitch is going to get away from Espino. A pitch down in the dirt from Sherman. It'll be a wild pitch. Skitters all the way to the backstop and then ricochets over towards the Colonel dugout. Warner Madrigal, not exactly a speedster, will make it to second base where he'll stay put. So the wild pitch advances Madrigal to second base, and now suddenly the Colonels are threatening. Well, we said the Snappers are one of the teams ahead of the Colonels in the standings. They're losing tonight. Another team ahead of the Colonels are the Kane County Cougars. They're playing division-leading Quad City in Davenport. And the swing of the Quad Cities through 2 innings. They're delayed by rain in Davenport, but the swing of the Quad Cities are up 1-0. Now, that would not be an official game. We need that one to get through the 4.5 innings. Only when it's convenient, apparently, in Davenport. They lead 1-0 on the Cougars, which is very good for the Colonels. There's a ground ball by Giannotti, fielded cleanly by Rusty Brown on 2 hops at first base for a ground out to the first baseman unassisted, but it does the job. It moves Madrigal to third base, where he is in scoring position for Jordan Renz. Let's see if Jordan can atone for that. Well, there's no other way to put it, just a very big mistake in dropping that fly ball to right field. Now, he's already atoned for it somewhat. He caught the line drive off Damaso Espino's bat to end the bottom of the third inning, but Jordan would love to drive in an RBI here and give the Colonels a lead. First pitch, he wraps one hard down the line at Ed Lucas. Lucas is not going to be able to get that one. Madrigal will come in and score, and Jordan Renz is on with what should be a base hit. We'll look over at Randy Wehofer, and he gives a thumbs up. That ball was not touched by Ed Lucas's glove. So Jordan Renz does just that. He does atone for that error out in right field by wrapping a 3-bouncer down to the Ivy League third baseman. Lucas just could not get in position to make a play on it. Renz finds himself at first base, and unlike in the second inning when he did not get an RBI on the double play ground out, he'll get an RBI there. Chris Walston, the new Colonel batter, he fouls the first pitch back to the screen. We've got another team that we need to concern ourselves with. They're also in a 4-way tie with the Kernels, 2.5 games out of the playoff race right now, and that's the Peoria Chiefs. And at O'Brien Field in Peoria, the Chiefs trail the West Michigan Whitecaps 1-0. That game in the bottom of the third inning. So everything working out to the Colonels' advantage as Sherman is offering low in the dirt for ball 2 to Chris Walston. Well, if that scoreboard is correct, it's a 2-2 count on Walston. I have lost track here. It appears to be a 1-1 count according to Doug Levy behind home plate. Do not know whether he's related to former Bills coach Marv Levy. They don't look very much alike. Doug's just a tad bit younger. There's a pitch ruled a strike on the outside corner to Walston, and the count should now be 1-2. Well, someone needs to go down and wake up the scoreboard operator here in Burlington. He's a couple booths down from us. And if my eyesight does not fail me, it sure looks like a 1-2 count flashed by Doug Levy. Let's see what Walston can do here with Jordan Renz holding tight over at first base. The pitch is down in the dirt. Renz is taken off a high throw to Gary Perez at second, and Jordan Renz is in with a stolen base. That's going to be Jordan's 7th stolen base of the season. Well, again, everything works out for the Kernels. The pitch was a ball. Now the count is 2-2. Now the scoreboard operator deserves a big pat on the back because he's correct. Jordan Renz moves to second base on the steal. And now we'll see if Chris Walston can drive him in. Deuces are wild. 2 outs. Ball 3. Well out of the strike zone, and Sherman is struggling with his control here. Well, I saw that Chris Walston had given away one of his bats that he's been using recently that had the handle half broken off it. A lucky birthday boy down the first base side has that. And there's a wrap base hit into right field by Walston. Magianis is going to send Jordan Renz from second. Here comes the throw to the plate. He's dead to right. Jordan slides in hard, but Tommaso Espino hangs on to the ball. Well, credit Chris Walston for putting that ball into play. A well-hit ball into right field. Brian McFall comes up firing a cannon of a throw to Tommaso Espino. If Espino could have made iced tea in the time that it took Jordan Renz to reach home plate, he held on to that ball. Jordan slid feet first. I do believe Espino had that ball in his glove as Jordan Renz was rounding third base. Oh, well. The Kernels strike for 1 run in the top of the 4th inning here at Community Field to take a 2-1 lead on the Burlington Bees. We've got everything going in our favor. Momentum is on the Kernel side. You're listening to Kernels Baseball in the Zone.
You save big money, you save big money when you shop Menards.
Build your next project with big savings now during Menards Build and Save Sale. You'll find great sale prices on lumber, roofing, siding, insulation, power tools, and much more for your dream home, including great savings on Menards' entire selection of drywall. Receive a $10 rebate with each $100 drywall purchase, up to a maximum rebate of $50. Plus, check out Menards' huge selection of project plans for your new home, garage, deck, or storage building. Just ask one of our friendly team members or use Menards' free touchscreen Design It Center to design your own project and receive an estimate in minutes. You'll also find great sale prices on power tools. Save big on everything to build or remodel. Now during Menards Build and Save Sale.
Save big money at Menards.
You can be an Iowa hero. You can help protect your loved ones with one simple act. Go shopping. Getting the items you need to make an emergency kit is crucial in the event of bioterrorism or other public health emergencies. Be a hero. Learn how to make an emergency kit. Log on to protectiowahealth.org or call 866-339-7906 for a free guidebook. Brought to you by the Iowa Department of Public Health, promoting and protecting the health of Iowans.
Information Director Todd Brownkamp alongside the real voice of the Kernels, John Rogers, here at Community Field, as Carl Jelena gets set to offer his first pitch to Rusty Brown in the bottom of the fourth inning. Kernels lead 2-1. The pitch was a called strike over the inside corner. Again, momentum on the Kernels side all around the Midwest League. If there's a karma surrounding this team, it's a good one, a strong one, if you will. The pitch on the inside corner, ball one, even though the scoreboard, once again, a pitch behind. Now, Brown will foul that ball off to the right-hand side, over by that indoor batting cage that John Rogers told you about earlier, and the count is 1-2. Well, when you don't have someone operating the scoreboard correctly, it makes this job a lot harder. Now we've just gotten caught up. Here's the 1-2 offering, and a big curveball called strike 3 on Rusty Brown. He didn't even move the bat off his shoulder, and Carl Jelena had him all crossed up. So Rusty Brown goes down on strikes, and that'll bring up Brian McFall. Now, we told you that the Kane County Cougars and the Swing of the Quad Cities are in a rain delay through an inning and a half in Davenport. The more astute Kernel fan is going to wonder what happened to the second game of that doubleheader. They are not playing a doubleheader in Davenport tonight. Instead, they will play a doubleheader tomorrow to make up for the rain out yesterday. Here's a check swing by McFall. They'll appeal down to Vic Carapazza at first base, and he says that Brian McFall did indeed break the plane with his bat for strike one. How you could not schedule the doubleheader on a Thursday rainout for a Friday, instead play it on Saturday, is beyond me as McFall fouls one out of play to the right-hand side. He digs himself an 0-2 count, and the Swing of the Quad Cities continue to dig themselves deeper in our hearts. We have no love lost for the Swing of the Quad Cities, but it's a catch-22. We need the Swing of the Quad Cities to continue winning ball games. If only they would have got to the... And now that pitch is going to hit... That pitch hits McFall on the hands. He appeared to check his swing, but it hit the meat of his wrist before it did hit the bat, so McFall will reach after being hit by Jelena. Well, that's the type of catch-22 that you'll find in the Midwest League from time to time, an arch rival that you really don't care much for, but you're pulling for them to win ball games. When we played them earlier this year, we were rained out after 4 2/3 innings with the Swing leading 1-0. They couldn't even get through the second inning tonight in Davenport. We'll see. It's just in a rain delay right now. But if I were a betting man, and I am, I would bet that game gets bagged and they have to continue it. Now, they would continue it tomorrow, then play a full game, and then have to play a doubleheader on Sunday. This is why you don't play scheduling God with the Midwest League schedule. Springer batting for the Bees, looks at a pitch down in the dirt for ball one. Kennard Springer, struggling this year with a .227 average, 3 home runs, 29 RBIs. His on-base percentage for you Moneyball types out there is only .293. Well, McFall down at first base, and Springer, who I can assure you is no blood relative of Jerry, at the plate. Now there's a throw over to first base. McFall gets back in plenty of time. Well, we've touched on it a number of times, and we'll touch on it one more time. The Kernels have one last Bucka Cup Wednesday left on the schedule this year, and it's against the aforementioned Swing of the Quad Cities. Well, there's a high fly ball behind home plate, a foul pop that is going to go on top of that. John likes to call it a concave spaceship-like covering. I'll just call it a covering. 1-1 count on Kennard Springer. The Swing of the Quad Cities come to town this coming Wednesday. The Kernels are home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It's our last 4-game homestand of the regular season. You can call the Kernel ticket office at 896-7560 to get your tickets. Now there's a pitch out. Michael Collins, snap throw down to first base. Wolfson makes the catch and applies the tag, but Vic Carapazza in position to see that McFall reached safely. He's back on first base. You can also order your Kernels tickets by going online to www.kernels.com. I mention that for two reasons. A, we love it when you go to our website, and B, we need to get you ready for the Kernel Roadshow Trivia Challenge. The runner is taking off. Collins fires a errant strike down to second base. It couldn't possibly be a strike and errant at the same time. Needless to say, McFall is in at second base with a stolen base. He's got pretty good speed. He's stolen 16 bags this year and only been caught 3 times. So McFall, the tying run, moves to second base with 1 out here. Kernels lead 2-1 in the top of the 4th. Kennard Springer batting against Carl Jelena. Here's the offering, the 2-2 offering, wrapped to Sean Rodriguez's left. Rodriguez gets, that's a great play right there. Rodriguez gets McFall in a rundown. It was a deep, deep shot to Rodriguez's left. He ranged over there, backhanded it, appeared as if he was going to throw across the diamond to get Springer. Instead, he throws it to Nate Sutton at second base, who caught McFall napping. McFall was planning on advancing to third base on that ground ball. Instead, he will head back to the dugout, a victim of a 6-4 putout, and Kennard Springer goes to first base on the fielder's choice. Now Springer, also a threat to steal. He's got 18 on the season and been caught 7 times. Well, we'll see how the Bees choose to play this with Gary Perez at the plate. First pitch wrapped hard to right, and that's going to be a base hit, ground ball to Jordan Renz. Renz comes up firing to second base. Well, Kennard Springer took a wide turn around second base, but no one was standing directly on the bag. Sean Rodriguez was over at short. Had someone been there, Renz was shallow enough to have possibly made a play on Springer at second base. Well, there's a base hit for Gary Perez, who I did not have a chance to tell you was named honorable mention All-Star in the Pioneer League. He had a great season with the Idaho Falls Chuckers before he was promoted to Burlington. Recently, he hit .362 with 2 homers, 11 doubles, 4 triples, 23 RBIs, 29 runs scored in 36 games. He joined the Bees the first of this month and stands on first base with a single to right field. That'll bring up Cody Cure, the Bees center fielder, with runners on first and second, and the first pitch is fouled back to the screen. Cure grounded out to Freddy Sandoval to end the bottom of the second inning in his first at-bat, so he's 0 for 1 tonight. We'll see if we can get him to go 0 for 2. We'll have the State Farm Major League scoreboard coming up for you later in the broadcast around the 6th inning. We'll also get to that Kernels Roadshow Trivia Challenge question that John is chomping at the bit to get. Jelena delivers a strike called across to Cure, and the Burlington center fielder finds himself in an 0-2 hole. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning, and Carl Jelena looking to wriggle off the hook. He won't blow by you with gas. He won't walk you. He may not strike you out, but he's going to give you something to hit. If Cure hits it, hopefully it's at a Kernel infielder. They're playing at regular depth. Sutton will shade back to second. There's a ball wrapped up the middle. Ground ball up the middle, base hit. Well, that's going to score Kennard Springer. He comes around to score. Gary Perez will advance to third base, and Cure goes to first on his ground ball single, RBI single up the middle to center field. Well, we said the infield was at regular depth. Sutton shaded over to keep the runner, Springer, honest at second base, and then took about 3 steps back to his left at second base. Cure then wrapped the ball to center fielder Josh LeBlanc for an RBI single. Well, that'll tie the game at 2-2, and now the Bees have the possible lead run just 90 feet away from home plate. Darwinson Salazar, the number 9 hitter, comes to the plate. John loves his name. He cannot possibly love his batting average. It's .155. We'll see what Darwinson can do. He's playing in his 57th game for the Bees. First pitch is a ball inside. There's no activity down in the Kernel bullpen, and why would there be? Carl's had a good outing so far. He's given up just 3 base hits to the Bees. But the host team is threatening here in the bottom of the fourth inning. They've already tied the game. Runners on the corners. Here's the 0-1 offering to Salazar. 1-0 offering is cut on and missed to even the count. John Rogers is feverishly preparing the Kernel Roadshow Trivia Challenge question. Go to our website, www.kernels.com, and follow the link on the right-hand side of the web page to play along. Here's the 1-1 offering. It's a called strike, a fastball, I believe, on the outside corner from Jelena, and he works himself ahead of Darwinson Salazar. Salazar has struck out 59 times. He's walked just 20. So in 56 games, an easy way to say it is Darwinson Salazar strikes out at least once a game. Jelena will step to third and then look to first. They're smart baseball fans in Burlington. You didn't hear a single person yell out balk. You'll hear that in places like Davenport, but not here in Burlington. And it's a good, healthy crowd at Community Field. Here comes the 1-2 offering from Jelena. It's wrapped right back at him. Carl stabs it on one bounce and throws over to Chris Walston to retire Salazar 1-3. Well, the Bees muster one run on a pair of hits off Jelena. They tie the game at 2 on an RBI single to center field by Cody Cure. Well, after 4, the ball game is tied at 2 apiece. We'll head to the top of the 5th inning, where I believe we're back at the top of the order with Sean Rodriguez. We are indeed in the top of the 5th inning. We go. It's the Kernels 2 and the Bees 2. You're listening to Kernels Baseball in the Zone.
What is ESPN Radio? It's not that hard. You're a sports fan. This is the sports station. It's ESPN. That means sports. The games, the experts, the analysis, the scores, the highlights, the people who know their stuff. It's good conversation. It's ESPN. It's radio. You know, the box that all the sounds come out of. At your home, in your car, where you work, even in your computer. It's everywhere you go. It's radio. It's ESPN. It's ESPN Radio. That's all it is.
It's the baddest, best shot tourney of the summer. The Zone's Last Gasp two-man best shot shootout, sponsored by Guinness. It might be warm on Friday, September 16th at Jones Park, but you'll think it's Christmas. Callaway drivers and golf bags and Jones Pro Shop gift certificates are just some of the prizes. We'll have lots of Zone wearables, plus personal pleasure party packs stuffed full of Guinness, Miller Lite, and icy smeared-off coolers. All that for just $25 a head. Call Jones Golf Course right now at 285-5585 or stop in and sign up. Guess what? Spots are limited. With a prize lineup like this, there won't be an empty cart for miles. The Zone's Last Gasp two-man best shot shootout, sponsored by Guinness. Friday, September 16th at Jones Golf Course in Cedar Rapids. Call 285-5585 or stop by Jones to sign up. See you there. The Zone.
Filling in the middle innings for the real voice of the Kernels, John Rogers. It's Kernel Sports Information Director Todd Brummelkamp on a beautiful evening for baseball in southeast Iowa at Community Field. It's the Kernels all knotted up with the Bees, 2-2. And the top of the order, Sean Rodriguez leading things off. He walked back in the third on 4 pitches and started this game in the top of the first by lining a single to center field. So Sean 1 for 1 as Justin Sherman prepares to deliver. First pitch, low, ball 1. There's activity in the Burlington bullpen. It's right-handed pitcher Craig Shambo. Shambo from Karen Crow, Louisiana, is throwing as Rodriguez fouls the second pitch from Sherman out of play, first base side. Sean, as John Rogers was saying off the air, made such a great defensive play in that last inning. Let's see if he can carry it over to the plate. 1-1 pitch, and that one will go high, possibly off the light standard, out of play over by the picnic area that they have. They have an elevated picnic area. It's on a platform with some white terrace around it, a beautiful, beautiful picnic area. And unlike last night, it's in use tonight, and the fans down there look like they're enjoying themselves. Now Sean will slice one over toward the children's play area that is just south of that picnic area. 1-2 count, but Sean is battling. Well, with the injury to Alexi Casillas suffered on Saturday at Clinton, this is very much Sean Rodriguez's team to lead to the playoffs. He's the veteran. And there's a big curveball. Sean wraps it. It's a slow roller to Geraldo Valentin. It's short. He picks it up and throws to Rusty Brown for the first out of the inning. So Sean Rodriguez is retired on what you can only describe as a putt. That ball was rolling so slowly, it half expected to see the Nike logo turn up on it, like Tiger's famous chip. So with one out, we look to Nate Sutton to get things started in the top of the fifth inning. Again, we're in a 2-2 ball game at Community Field in Burlington. Nate Sutton, a left-handed hitter facing the right-hander, Sherman. Shambo continuing to throw in the Bees bullpen as 4 pitchers stand guard to make sure he's not hit by a foul ball. Sutton looks, strike one. We've got Colonel starting pitcher Francisco Cordova right below us. He's charting pitches tonight as Sutton fouls one back very near the press box. It can't get to us. We have a protective net covering where we are, but it went just to our left towards the one diamond suite that they have here in Burlington. And Sutton in an 0-2 count looks at the third pitch low and away for ball one. Francisco Cordova, we do not know when he'll throw again. He has a blister on his finger. He's wearing a Hawkeye shirt tonight. The native of Mexico, acclimating well to eastern Iowa. Now there's a foul ball by Sutton that glances off a power line just outside of Community Field. This ballpark is wide open, just off highways 34 and 61 in southeast Iowa. John Rogers mentioned that Burlington is the original capital of the state of Iowa before they moved upriver to Iowa City and then west to Des Moines. There's the 1-2 pitch. Sutton is called out looking on strike three. A changeup on the outside corner, and you could tell Nate was caught off guard by the way he raised his leg, but couldn't pull the trigger on it in time. Well, right-handed pitcher Ronnie Ray has returned to join Francisco Cordova down below us. They're about 3 rows below us, as is Jim, our Tri-State motor coach bus driver. Jim and George both do a great job in ferrying this team back and forth, and these commuters are just as hard on our drivers as they are on us and the players. Here's Freddy Sandoval. He'll place a souvenir onto the left-hand side of the stadium. I say left hand. In baseball parlance, you'd say third base. Either way you slice it, Freddy's in an 0-1 hole. Sherman's pitch. Called strike on the outside corner, and it appears that as the game has gone along, Sherman has not only picked up his pace just ever so slightly, but he also seems to have gotten his confidence back. Here's the 0-2 offering, and he tries to nibble on that outside corner again. You go there once too often, and that's exactly what happens. He laid off for ball one. And there's ball two to Freddie. Again, the Kernels kick off their last regular season homestand of the year this Monday with a 7 p.m. game against the Swing of the Quad Cities. Gates open at 6. Sandoval lines one down the third base side in the air. That'll be out of play. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Every game starts at 7. Every game, the gates open at 6 o'clock. Come on out and support this team. They look to be bound for the playoffs. Sandoval, this is a heck of an at-bat for the Tijuana native as he fouls another ball almost to the exact same spot as the last one. We have several Kernels employees in attendance tonight, and they appear to be enjoying themselves greatly. They're waving up to the press box. John Rogers, always a friendly fellow, waves back at him. John loves the ladies, especially when they're waving at him. Here's Freddy Sandoval with a 2-2 count. Wraps one, this time down the first base side. Will charge an error to Justin Bachman, who tried to field that one and couldn't come up with it cleanly. You got to love a competitor like Justin Bachman. He's hanging his head down there like he just cost the Kernels a chance at the playoffs. On a foul ground ball. Freddy Sandoval fouls another Sherman pitch back to the screen. The Burlington bat boy, clad in his white pants and blue batting practice top, will go get that. He doesn't appear to be glared at by anyone, so he's doing a good job. It's still a 2-2 count on Sandoval. He wraps one to second baseman Gary Perez, fields it on 3 hops, and throws to Rusty Brown. So after battling valiantly, Freddy Sandoval has a weak grounder to Gary Perez to end the inning. Well, no runs, no hits, and no errors in that inning, the top of the 5th for the Kernels. We're going to head to the bottom of the 5th inning, still tied here at Community Field, 2-2. You're listening to Kernel Baseball in the Zone.
Your Cedar Rapids and Marion Hy-Vees are proud to support one of our community's most renowned and cherished assets, the Cedar Rapids Kernels. Your Cedar Rapids and Marion Hy-Vees believe in the core values that comprise the essence of Kernel baseball: fun, wholesome, affordable entertainment for us all. As you look ahead to the many joys of summer, your Cedar Rapids and Marion Hy-Vees encourage you to visit the fabulous new Veterans Memorial Stadium. Your Cedar Rapids and Marion Hy-Vees, embracing Kernel baseball, a community treasure.
Mom! Dad! I got in! Oh, that's wonderful, honey.
Oh, my little girl's going to my alma mater.
No, Dad. Harvard!
Harvard.
Dad?
Got unexpected tuition payments? Call your guarantee banker.
Dad, Bill just hit a home run right through the neighbor's window.
The Murphy's window?
No, the Wilsons.
Oh, the big window.
Need a loan? Talk to your guarantee banker for a loan that's right for your kind of life.
Dad, there was this red light thingy in your car that said to check the engine. So I did, and it was still there. But, then it started making these gross noises and stuff. And then some really cute guy who stopped to help me said that the engine was, frozen. Yeah, that's possible in the summer.
Need a car loan? Talk to your guarantee banker for a loan that's right for your kind of life.
Guarantee Bank. For your kind of life.
Member FDIC.
Welcome back to the bottom of the 5th inning, Community Field in Burlington, Iowa. Colonel Sports Information Director Todd Brownkamp bringing you the middle 3 innings of tonight's game between two teams fighting and scrapping for that one of 2 playoff berths in the second half of the Midwest League Western Division, the Burlington Bees and the Cedar Rapids Kernels. Now, right now, we're both knotted up at 2 runs apiece as the Bees send their leadoff hitter, Geraldo Valentin, to the plate to face Carl Jelena leading off the 5th inning, and Valentin looks at the ball low. Things have gotten slightly murkier for the Kernels' playoff hopes as the Beloit Snappers have taken a 4-2 lead on the Dayton Dragons with 2 runs in the 7th and 2 runs in the 8th. They lead 4-2 heading to the 9th inning. Spencer Tollison is homered for Beloit in that game as Geraldo Valentin follows the ball out of play. They're still on a rain delay in the Quad Cities. There's a check swing by Valentin. They appeal down to Carapaz at first base. He says he did not go. Valentin checked his swing and went to one knee. It looked like he was proposing to someone, yet somehow he didn't swing the bat. That time he does, and fouls it back to the screen to even the count at 2 apiece. Well, it's a very long rain delay in the Quad Cities, apparently. We've had no activity on that game for quite a while. It's now just a little after 8:30. It's beautiful down here in Burlington. Quad Cities is about an hour to the north of here. Strike 3 called on Geraldo Valentin as Carl Jelena paints the corner with a fastball. The outside corner fastball retires Geraldo Valentin, leading off the bottom of the 5th inning. That'll bring up Ed Lucas, the Ivy League third baseman. Get ready for our Colonel Did You Know, or Colonel Roadshow Trivia Challenge question, that is, as Jelena offers his first pitch to Lucas. It's a big Uncle Charlie called strike 1. What team signed, developed, and then traded Major League stars Randy Hundley, George Foster, Gary Maddox, Orlando Cepeda, and Dave Kingman? There's a fly ball single into right field by Ed Lucas. So Lucas singles to right with one out, and he'll start a rally for the home team in the bottom of the fifth inning. Our Kernels Roadshow Trivia Challenge question again. What major league team signed, developed, and then traded the following former major league stars? Randy Hundley, George Foster, Gary Maddox, Orlando Cepeda, and Dave Kingman. One team had them all at one point and then traded them. Here's a high fly ball by Damaso Espino. LeBlanc is going to settle underneath it in center field, pitch a 10th. He makes the catch. Well, that's the second out of the inning. And now suddenly that Ed Lucas single to right doesn't loom quite as large as it did. But we've got Rusty Brown and Brian McFall on deck. So the Bees could still do some damage this inning, especially if Rusty Brown gets a hold of the ball here. I just cannot believe that a major league team had that much talent and then squandered it all. I would hope that someone lost their job over that, or numerous people over the course of time. This didn't just all happen in 1 year. Snap throw by Collins down to first base. Lucas is back in time. www.kernels.com, the Kernels Roadshow Trivia Challenge question. The link is on the right-hand side of the webpage. Again, congratulations to Tom Kelly. He got the correct answer last night. It was Hal McRae and George Brett. They battled to the very end of the 1976 season. There's the pitch, and ooh, that hurt. Rusty Brown fouls the ball off his left ankle. He's on the ground in pain out in front of the plate. Mark Stubblefield, the Bees trainer, will come out and check on the cleanup batter for Burlington. They're in a world of hurt if they have any injuries, especially tonight. They have Eddie Solis, the second baseman, and Felipe Del Rosario, a catcher, on the bench. Those are their only two position players. Garwinson Salazar, an outfielder, is the Bees' designated hitter tonight. Bees broadcaster Randy Wehofer has said it's extremely hard to call games in these last couple weeks because the parent club, Kansas City Royals, has given them absolutely no help. They're going to have to. They have to send someone up here, if nothing more than to give this team a little depth. Jelena throws over to first base just to check up on Lucas. He's back in time, plenty of time. Randy Hundley, of course, the father of former Cub ball player Todd Hundley. George Foster, the home run hitting member of the Big Red Machine. Gary Maddox, who I remember as a member of the Philadelphia Phillies. John probably remembers him with other teams. There's Lucas taking off. The throw down to Sutton at second, and Lucas is in with a stolen base. Well, credit the Bees and Jim Gabella for playing Kernels baseball here in the fifth inning and trying to manufacture a run. They send Lucas with 2 outs. It's a 1-2 count right now on the cleanup man, Rusty Brown. Orlando Cepeda, his numbers speak for themselves, and Dave Kingman, a very surly man, but a heck of a hitter in his own right. He made the Major League Tour. I think he's got a luggage tag from just about every city in the league. There's a pitch down in the dirt. Now they've got Lucas hung up. Throw down to Sean Rodriguez, and they nail him. The pitch was in the dirt. Collins blocks it, keeps it in front of him. Lucas straight off the bag at second. Actually, it's a strikeout. They ruled a strikeout on Rusty Brown. I apologize for that. It sure looked like the play was still in action. It was a check swing, and home plate umpire Doug Lovey says that Brown indeed swung at the pitch. So never mind what Ed Lucas did down at second base. Carl Jelena, another fine inning from the Colonel right-hander. He wiggles off the hook after a one-out base hit by Ed Lucas. Lucas stole second, but gets hung out to dry there as the Espino flies out to center, and Brown strikes out to end the inning. After 5 innings, we will take another break here. You're listening to Kernels Baseball. It's a 2-2 ball game in the zone.
I cannot face anyone but me. Baby, can't you see I know what's right for me? Don't tell me wrong for mine. I know just what I like. Yeah, call me crazy, I don't care. Come feel the joy all of mine. Each generation has found they got their own kind of sound. Come to shout it out. It's that fire.
It's the baddest, best shot tourney of the summer. The Zone's Last Gasp two-man best shot shootout, sponsored by Guinness. It might be warm on Friday, September 16th at Jones Park, but you'll think it's Christmas. Callaway drivers and golf bags and Jones Pro Shop gift certificates are just some of the prizes. We'll have lots of Zone wearables, plus personal pleasure party packs stuffed full of Guinness, Miller Lite, and icy Smirnoff coolers. All that for just $25 a head. Call Jones Golf Course right now at 285-5585 or stop in and sign up. Guess what? Spots are limited. With a prize lineup like this, there won't be an empty cart for miles. The Zone's Last Gasp two-man best shot shootout, sponsored by Guinness. Friday, September 16th at Jones Golf Course in Cedar Rapids. Call 285-5585 or stop by Jones to sign up. See you there. The Zone.
Welcome back to the top of the sixth inning at Community Field in Burlington, Iowa. You're listening to Cedar Rapids Kernels Baseball and Sports Information Director Todd Brownelkamp. 20 minutes to 9, and we're knotted in a 2-2 ball game. We've got a pitching change to tell you about. The Burlington Bees have made a call to the bullpen for right-handed pitcher Craig Shambo. Shambo is 1-0 with a 3.91 ERA. He'll make his 12th appearance for the Bees. Over 23 innings, he's struck out 23 batters and walked just 9. Opponents are hitting a mere .213 off him. We'll try to dig up more information on Shambaugh. He's from Car and Crow, Louisiana. Went to Louisiana Lafayette University. I believe they're the Ragin' Cajuns. And he sure looks like he was taken in the draft this summer. He'll face Michael Collins, his first batter. And Michael takes a healthy cut and fouls the first pitch over to the ball boy in the Burlington dugout. We'll have the State Farm Major League scoreboard coming up for you here in the sixth inning. Well, we've got some defensive changes to tell you about for the Bees. Ed Lucas moves from third base to right field, and Eddie Solis comes into the ball game to play third base. Collins swings and fouls the ball back. That must mean that Brian McFall is injured. He, of course, fouled the ball off of his left ankle in the last half inning. And boy, now what do you do if you're the Burlington Bees? You have Felipe Del Rosario, a catcher, as your only position player left. And our colleague next door, Randy Wehofer, has to be beside himself. That big curveball is going to plunk Michael Collins right in the back. We talked about the fact that he'd been hit 18 times. Chalk it up, number 19 for Michael Collins. Well, he has such a laissez-faire attitude about outwardly. We discussed this. Inwardly, he takes things very seriously. Michael just shakes it off and goes down to first base. That curveball in defense of Shambo would not have broken a pane of glass. It couldn't have hurt that bad. So we'll keep up on the changes that the Bees have made. We'll put Lucas out in right field. I just cannot believe that a parent club would neglect their affiliate the way they have. Now there appears to be there's a meeting on the mound, and Shambo appears to be, well, he's not injured. They're going to have him make a couple practice throws. I don't know whether there's talk that the mound is not in very good shape, or perhaps he strained himself. Something is going on with the Bees. No activity yet down in the Burlington bullpen. Although Rusty Begno is walking down there, perhaps he has a message to relay. He may tell some of those Bees relief pitchers they need to get different gloves and get warmed up to go play the field. That's how bad a shape the Burlington Bees are in right now. Something tells me that Felipe Del Rosario is not exactly your jack-of-all-trades utility man. Most catchers are not. Well, with Collins at first base, Josh LeBlanc will step in from the left-hand side to face Shambo. He wears a black glove and comes set at the belt, instead stepping off and throwing over to first base. A giant inflatable member of the Village People in attendance tonight. I don't think they had a fireman. If they did, this guy would be a good fit. foul ball, third base side out of play. A big thank you to Jim, our bus driver. He's delivered John Rogers his pretzel and water. He's also brought me some water. That's Josh LeBlanc in an 0-2 hole. John Rogers said earlier that Josh is a bit of an aggressive swinger, and he's dug himself an 0-2 hole. There's a pitch in the dirt. It's going to get away from Espino. Collins takes off. Espino fires down to second. The throw fielded by Geraldo Valentin, but not in time. Wild pitch, says Randy Wehofer. We kind of could have guessed that, but it's always reassuring to hear it from Randy Wehofer himself that was a wild pitch. So Michael Collins is 180 feet away from scoring. That would give the Kernels a 3-2 lead. I've got some interesting facts I will share for you on teams' records tied after the 5th inning, 6th inning, and whatnot. There's a bunt attempt by LeBlanc that goes foul. And again, I apologize. Josh LeBlanc was obviously not in an 0-2 hole. Otherwise, he would have been out for bunting foul on the third strike. The scoreboard now shows 1-1. And things never come easy. It's actually 1-2. And they say no one gets to take vacation in professional baseball. We know someone in Burlington who's obviously taken the night off. Craig Shambo, the big Cajun, will come set and deliver. Even the count at 2-2. That pitch misses the strike zone. Michael Collins was hit by a pitch to lead off the inning. He then advanced to second base on a wild pitch. No outs, tie ball game at Community Field, top of the 6th inning. This game crucial for the Kernels. We told you Beloit's taken a 4-2 lead on Dayton. We'll see if we can get a final here shortly, along with the Major League portion of the State Farm Major League scoreboard. Now it's a full count on LeBlanc as Shambo's pitch is down in the dirt. No activity in the Burlington bullpen. No stirrings in the Kernel bullpen. Carl Jelena turning in another fantastic outing. There's ball 4 to Josh LeBlanc. A ball 4 base hit by Josh LeBlanc will put runners on first and second. Well, an inauspicious first outing for Shambaugh. This is the first time he has faced the Kernels in 12 appearances. He's hit the first batter and then walked the second. If he gives up a home run to Warner Madrigal, the third batter he faces, I don't know what I'd do. There are just some players that you, for some reason or another, form an attachment to, and I really like this goofy right fielder. They're going to have Warner bunt. Warner lays down a perfect bunt. No one covering third base. And Warner, any other player would have been safe at first base, but that is a beautiful effort by Warner Madrigal. It caught everybody, including myself and John Rogers, by surprise. Warner Madrigal, with no outs, lays down a sacrifice bunt. Shambaugh fields it in front of the mound just a couple steps to his right, looked at third base. Solis had came charging in on the bunt. No one was at third base to get Collins. Meanwhile, LeBlanc advances to second, and Warner Madrigal had the plow down. He's out by a step and a half. A fantastic sacrifice bunt by Warner Madrigal. And now it appears as if the Bees will intentionally walk Richard Giannotti. They have thrown one pitch out. Now Damaso Espino stepping out and receiving ball 2. So Richard Giannotti will be intentionally walked to load the bases with one out. Well, Jordan Renz has killed the Bees in this ball game. Why would you intentionally walk the bases loaded to get to Jordan Renz? He's absolutely killed you. But as the Kernels, we're not going to complain about it. I'm still marveling over Warner Madrigal's sacrifice bunt that moved Collins to third and LeBlanc to second. I'm going to give my buddy Warner a big muy bien after the game. I don't know if he'll understand me. I'm not sure Warner speaks Spanish. Richard Giannotti has taken the intentional walk and headed down to first base. I think they speak French in the Dominican Republic. I'm not quite sure. That'll bring up Jordan Renz. Let's take a look over the sheet and tell you what Renz has done so far today. He was thrown out at the plate in the top of the 4th inning on a base hit to right field by Giannotti. And there's the first pitch down in the dirt. Jordan had a 6-3 ground ball double play in the second inning that allowed Warner Madrigal to score with the game's first run. They also picked up an RBI later in the game in the fourth inning. Check that. There's a strike to Renz to even the count. Bases are loaded here at Community Field. Craig Shambaugh on the mound for the Bees. 1-1-1 on the scoreboard. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out to Jordan Renz. He looks at a big curveball. Everyone in the ballpark was admiring that one, including Jordan, as it finds its way into DeMasso Espino's glove for strike 2. Well, if Jordan Renz can't get anything done with the bases loaded, it would be Chris Walston with 2 outs. The last thing we want here is a double play. If Jordan puts the ball in play, hopefully it'll be to the outfield. There is a tantalizing pitch. They've read the scouting report on Jordan Renz well. Shambaugh throws a slider that starts over the plate and then breaks out of the strike zone. Jordan laid off for ball 2. 2-2 count. Giannotti at first, LeBlanc at second, Collins at third. There's a big healthy cut by Jordan Renz. He fouls it behind home plate over by the Bees dugout up the third base line. Well, Jordan Renz, he's our star of the game so far if we had such an award to give out on a daily basis. This inning is hung on the shoulders of Warner Madrigal. Now Jordan Renz wraps the ball to Solis at third. He'll go to second base. Perez will try to complete the double play. He's off the bag. Rusty Brown is off the bag, and the Kernels lead this ball game 3-2. Jordan Renz, a slow roller to Eddie Solis at third base. Solis comes up and fired to Gary Perez at second to retire Giannotti. Perez's relay throw is wide left of Rusty Brown at first base, pulled him off the bag, and the Kernels lead this ball game 3-2. Well, I am wearing a navy blue Kernels Road baseball cap, and I will doff it to Warner Madrigal. Number 24 has given the Kernels a lead, and he wasn't even batting. It was his sacrifice bunt that set this whole inning up. And now Chris Walston has Josh LeBlanc at third and Renz at first. Runners on the corners and 2 outs. Kernels lead this ball game 3-2. First pitch, a ball, low and away from Shambaugh. Now Walston wraps one into the Bees dugout. It's a small target, that Bees dugout, but that ball found it on about 3 bounces. That's one of the things they need to improve here at Community Field, the size of the dugouts, and I'm sure if you asked our good friend Dave Walker, he says it's on the list of things to do. 2 outs, top of the 6th inning. Kernels lead 3-2. Walston fouls the ball off his right ankle. It pops high into the air behind home plate. No activity in the Burlington bullpen. Craig Shambaugh has become the pitcher of record for the Bees. We have yet to give you the final line on Justin Sherman. He pitched 5 innings, allowed 2 runs, 6 hits, struck out 2 Kernels and walked 3. He cannot factor in the decision of this ball game. Shambaugh will check Renz over at first base. Jordan has tricked the Bees into thinking that he's a stolen base threat, although on this Kernels team, anybody is a stolen base threat. There's the pitch. Foul. Right side over by the indoor batting cages. And Chris Walston, another fine at-bat. We've seen terrific play from the bottom third of this Kernels batting order. Warner Madrigal, Richard Giannotti, Jordan Renz, and Chris Walston. That's not necessarily a third, but no one ever said I was a math major. It's a 1-2 count on Chris Walston. The big first baseman looks at the offering and swings and misses. So Craig Shambaugh wriggles off the hook, but not before a sacrifice bunt by Warner Madrigal leads to a single run for the Kernels. It will loom large as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Kernels now lead this ball game 3-2. You're listening to Kernels Baseball in the Zone.
A safety message from Casey Wigman of the Kansas City Chiefs.
When I'm on the field, sometimes I take chances. When I'm in my car, I never take chances with trains. They're usually moving way faster than you think, and it can take a train the length of 18 football fields before it can stop. So it's up to you to play defense. Please respect the warnings at all crossings, because taking a hit from a train, you wouldn't stand a chance.
A safety message from Operation Lifesaver.
Kids grow up so fast. In fact, between the ages of 3 and 8, kids typically grow 33% taller. So we pack delicious Nestle Nesquik with 33% more calcium than milk alone to help build strong bones. Of course, 33% more kids to play with means 33% more toys to step on and 33% more questions to answer. But really, it's all 33% more kid to love. Packed with extra calcium, Nestle Nesquik is kid delicious, mom nutritious.
I is for the massive amount of information at your fingertips. O is for the massive amount of information at your fingertips. W is for the massive amount of information at your fingertips.
Read what's on the page.
A is for... Oh, screw it. This is crap. Get somebody...
Put it all together and what do you get? One massive website with one wicked fixation on everything, Iowa.com. Make it your first stop.
Iowa.
And tell your friends.
.com.
Colonel Sports Information Director Todd Volkamp bringing you the bottom of the 6th inning from Community Field in Burlington, Iowa, where the Kernels are on top of the Bees 3-2. State Farm Insurance agents Lanny Peterson, Al Shetler, Dale Thompson, and Gary Schubat are proud to bring you the State Farm Major League scoreboard as we prepare for the bottom of the 6th inning. Heavy menu tonight. We'll start with the New York Yankees, 5-1 winners in the Bronx over the parent club of the Burlington Bees, the Kansas City Royals. That's the only final from the American League. Cleveland is on top of Toronto 9-3. That game is in the 9th inning. The parent club Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim are being outslugged by Tampa Bay 10-8. Former Colonel Irvin Santana started the game tonight for the Angels. That game is in the 7th inning stretch. Here's the first pitch from Jean, and it's going to be wrapped hard down to Freddy Sandoval at third base, and Sandoval throws on to Chris Walston to retire Brian McFall for the first out. So McFall, on the very first pitch, wraps the ball to Freddy Sandoval, who aptly fields it and throws on to Walston for the first out. That'll bring up Kennard Springer. Oakland on top of Baltimore 4-1, and that game is in the top of the 8th, so the A's keeping pace with the Angels. Detroit and Boston deadlocked at 5 through 5 innings. There's a hard hit line drive base hit into left field by Kennard Springer. So with one out, Springer lines a single to left field, where Richard Giannotti is patrolling for the Kernels tonight. And that'll bring up Gary Perez, the Pioneer League Honorable Mention All-Star. Texas, behind the pitching of former Clinton Lumber King Cameron Lowe, leads Minnesota 6-0 at the ballpark at Arlington. And the White Sox and Mariners getting ready to get things started at Safeco. A couple finals from the National League earlier today. It was the Marlins over the Cubs 7-5. Also, the Washington Nationals have defeated John's beloved St. Louis Cardinals 4-1. Cincinnati on top of Pittsburgh 6-1 at PNC Park. That game is in the top of the 9th. There's a base hit into right field by Gary Perez. So back-to-back base hits have the Bees threatening here in the bottom of the 6th. Well, what can you do? This has been a seesaw affair. And Kernan Ronan will take a trip to the mound and allow us to take a complete look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard. We told you about the Reds and the Pirates. Now let's take a look at the Milwaukee Brewers. They're on top of the Atlanta Braves at Miller Park. They're up 3-0 through 7 innings. Arizona and Philadelphia scoreless through 1, and 3 games getting ready to get underway. Los Angeles hosting Houston, San Francisco hosting the Mets, and my beloved 63-63 San Diego Padres getting ready to take on the Colorado Rockies at Petco Park in San Diego. That's a look at the Major League portion of the State Farm Major League scoreboard. And since we're in the middle of a pennant race, how about we flip over to the Midwest League and take a look at how things are shaping up around the league tonight. Beloit has defeated Dayton 6-2. That'll be a damper for the Colonel playoff hopes, but it's not over yet. It just means the Colonels don't gain any ground on the Snappers. They have resumed play in the Quad Cities. The swing up 1-0 on Kane County. That's good news. Now Michael Collins will head out after the meeting was broken up. He'll have a one-on-one with Carl Jelena. West Michigan has opened up on Peoria. They're up 6-0 through 5 innings, so that's good for the Kernels. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. If the swing of the Quad Cities can hang on against Kane County and West Michigan can defeat Peoria, the Kernels will gain ground on those 2 clubs and stay even with Beloit, who would now, after tonight, hold that second playoff spot. The first pitch to Cody Cure is low for ball 1. Runners on first and second, bottom of the 6th inning. Kernels lead 3-2. There's 1 out. And we'll see if Carl Jelena can find his control. Cody Cure wraps the ball to Rodriguez. This will be 2. Pitches to Nate Sutton. Sutton on to Walton at first. And the Kernels wriggle off the hook and get out of the inning. Cody Cure wraps the ball to Sean Rodriguez. It's a 6-4-3 double play. And now, for the Burlington Bees, they appeared. Gary Perez has come up gimpy at second base on the slide. Stubblefield, the trainer, will come out and check on him. They have only catcher Felipe Del Rosario in reserve. Well, the Kernels cling to a 3-2 lead through 6 innings here at Community Field. We'll hope that they can hang on for the final 3 innings. We'll turn things back over to the voice of the Kernels, John Rogers, for the 7th inning. And again, we want to thank our friends at State Farm, Lanny Peterson, Al Shetler, Dale Thompson, and Gary Schubat for that look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard. You're listening to Kernels Baseball in the Zone.
Do dragonflies really breathe fire? Maybe we can't answer a thought-provoking question like that. But Phil Andrews, your Pekin insurance professional at Weidenhammer Andrews Agency, can answer all your insurance questions. Phil Andrews is an insurance expert, and he can help you with all kinds of protection: auto, home, life, health, and business. Phil Andrews, your Pekin insurance agent at Weidenhammer Andrews, has all the right answers for the right insurance coverages for you and your family.
The 2005 high school football season kicks off with a bang with one of the metro area's top rivalries to start the season. Hi, this is Scott Unash. Join John Haggerty and me Thursday night, September 1st at 7:15 with the pregame for the NBC opener when Kennedy takes on Xavier. These are 2 squads with high hopes for the fall. The Cougars return a bevy of players off a 5-4 team of a year ago, while Xavier also returns some firepower to go with a very talented junior class. That's high school football, Kennedy and Xavier, Thursday night, September 1st at 7:15, right here on The Zone.
Watch your team's out-of-market games live from anywhere. Log on to ESPN.com for MLB.tv. Live Major League Baseball right to your desktop. Subscribe and catch your favorite team live from any computer. Get the most baseball available anywhere, live online. Log on to ESPN.com. Sign up for MLB.tv and never miss a game again. MLB.tv now on ESPN.com. Sign up today.
With the Kernels leading 3-2, Sean Rodriguez stands in. He's leading off an inning for the 4th time tonight. He singled in the first, walked leading off the 3rd, but was erased in a double play and bounced out to short, or rather rolled out to short in the 5th, and he's ahead 2-0 facing Craig Schambouch, Schamboughh, a right-hander, who spins in a strike called. Just past 9 o'clock here in Southeast Iowa. Thanks for tuning in to Kernel Baseball on ESPN Radio 1600, KCRG Cedar Rapids. 3-2 Kernels and ball 3 outside. Double barrel action in the Kernel bullpen. Lefty Joe Torres, right-hander T.J. Stanton. Top of the 7th inning, the 3-1 to Sean, low and in, and it goes to the screen. Let's see if Rodriguez will test the gall of Damaso Espino. He does not. And Sean is on for the 3rd time in 4 trips, drawing a leadoff walk. The 3-1 pitch was low, and it scooted past the catcher, Damaso Espino. Thanks to Todd Rummelkamp for his great work. You can tell the passion for the game that Todd has. Remember, Ed Lucas came on to play right field in the top of the 6th inning, and taking over at 3rd was Eddie Solis. Out of the game, Brian McFall. Left-handed hitting Nate Sutton, the batter. A bunt, and it's a beautiful drag bunt up the first base side. The pitcher underhands just in time to the first baseman for the out. Boy, the Kernels have been just dynamite, sacrificing this last month or so. That's the second outstanding sacrifice bunt by a Colonel this evening. Warner Madrigal helped the Colonels take the lead in this game in the 6th inning without a hit with his sacrifice bunt. And Nate Sutton pulled it up the first baseline. The pitcher had to scramble to his left and picked it up, then underhanded just in time. The play went pitcher to first, 1-3. And now a base hit by Sandoval would likely give the Colonels a 4-2 lead. It's 3-2 Colonels here in the top of the 7th inning at Community Field in Burlington. Ooh, a changeup by the right-hander, Craig Shambaugh. He spells his first name Kraig, and he pulled the string on Freddy, who swung through it, strike one. The wall here is 8 feet high. It's plywood, except in right field. Down the line in right, it is 16 feet high. Ball one is upstairs to Freddy Sandoval, 1-1. Freddy, a .285 hitter, tied for third in the league with 32 doubles. He has walked and reached on an infield single and grounded to second. Sean Rodriguez at second with one out here in the 7th. And a high pop-up into shallow center. Racing in is Cody Cure. He's there and tucks it away. Freddy Sandoval was thrown off stride on an off-speed pitch from Shambaugh and popped it into shallow center. 2 gone here in the Colonels' 7th inning. 3-2 Colonels. As Todd told you, we have a real fun opportunity for you to come out and let all the stresses of life leave them behind. Our final 4 home games of the regular season: Monday the 29th of August, Tuesday the 30th, Wednesday the 31st, Thursday September 1st. Wednesday the 31st is Bucka Cup Wednesday, along with Center Stage Halloween in August. I'll give you the details in a moment. Wrapping the first pitch foul into the B third base dugout, cleanup hitter Michael Collins. He was hit by a pitch, advanced to second on a wild pitch and scored the go-ahead run in this game in the 6th inning. Bucka Cup Wednesday means for just $1, you can enjoy a 12-ounce beer or a 12-ounce soda pop. And Center Stage Halloween means costume contest and trick-or-treating. Halloween in August. Wednesday, August 31st, along with Bucka Cup Wednesday. Strike 2 called from the right-hander, 0-2 to Michael Collins. Colonels lead it by a run in the top of the 7th inning. Fan Appreciation Night is Thursday, September 1st. Soda will just be $1.50 and ice cream cones only $1. And we'll be giving away team photos and cheer sticks as long as they last on Thursday, September 1st. Michael Collins loops one into left center. It falls for a base hit. Rounding third and scoring, Sean Rodriguez. Throw home not in time. Throw to second in time. Colonels lead 4-2. A run scores to make it 4-2 Colonels on a base hit into left by Michael Collins. Then the catcher winged it down to the second baseman, Gary Perez, to get Michael at second, but a big 2-out RBI single dumped over the shortstop Valentine's head into left. Kennard Springer played it on one hop, threw home, not in time to get Sean Rodriguez, but then the catcher, Espino, threw out Michael Collins at second. So Michael Collins adds to the Colonel lead with a huge 2-out single on an 0-2 pitch, looping it into left. The play went at second. It went 7-2-4. 7-2-4 to get Michael Collins at second base. The Colonels take advantage of a leadoff walk by Sean Rodriguez and a sacrifice bunt by Nate Sutton and a 2-out RBI single from Michael Collins to score a run. 1 run in the 7th for the Colonels on 1 hit. There were no B errors, and the Colonels leave nobody on. Colonels have stranded 7 in 7 innings. 7th inning stretch in Burlington, where the Colonels are on top of the Bees, 4-2. This is Colonel Baseball in the Zone.
I live for you, I feed your cats, I fold your undies at the laundromat, unless you want me to have them dry. I get paid for that. I'll work things out, things get bad. I'll save my soul patch before I meet your dad. I'll wear a turtleneck to strategically hide my tattoos if I can. I'm quitting the band, I'm winning your hand. I'm giving you all my time, but this Dr. Pepper is mine, rich taste, forget it. This Dr.
Watch your team's out-of-market games live from anywhere. Log on to ESPN.com for MLB.tv. Live Major League Baseball right to your desktop. Subscribe and catch your favorite team live from any computer. Get the most baseball available anywhere, live online. Log on to ESPN.com. Sign up for MLB.tv and never miss a game again. MLB.tv now on ESPN.com. Sign up today.
24-year-old right-hander T.J. Stanton has answered a U.S. Cellular speed talk call to the Colonel bullpen, and Stanton will pitch to the Bees in the bottom of the 7th, 4-2 Colonels. T.J. pumps in a strike to the number 9 hitter, who is flown out to deep center and tapped back to Carl Jelena, the departed Colonel starter. T.J. Stanton, right-hander, working from the stretch. And he's pitched well his last 4 times out. A breaking pitch is in at the knees. Strike 2 to the right-handed batter. T.J. Stanton has pitched 5 1/3 innings of scoreless relief in his last 4 appearances, giving up no runs on 1 hit, striking out 7 and walking 1. He has been terrific. And a breaking pitch, low and away, swung on and missed. Strike 3. To Darwinson Salazar, rather. Carl Jelena got Cody Keir to wrap into a big inning-ending double play with the tying run at second, go-ahead run at first. That was in Carl's last inning of work. Jelena, in his 23rd start, goes 6 innings, allowed only 2 runs on 6 hits in 6 innings, fanned 4, walked 1, and hit a batter. Also was charged with a wild pitch. Ball 1 is inside to Geraldo Valentin, the leadoff batter for the Bees. 236 hitter. 3 homers, 41 driven in, and he's 0 for 3 tonight. Valentin clubs it off the plate foul, and it rolls up the third baseline, 1-1 to Geraldo. Again, that final line on Jelena, the Colonel starter. He's aiming for his 9th win. Carl hurled 6 innings. Surrendered only 2 runs on 6 hits, struck out 4, walked 1, hit a batter, threw a wild pitch. T.J. Stanton coming on out of the Colonel bullpen for the 33rd time this year. He's won 4 and lost 4, and he also has 4 saves. Swing and a foul straight back, and it's 1-2 to Geraldo Valentin. Also on Fan Appreciation Night, the Gazette will be handing out their Gazette e-edition cards. Those cards give you a free 2-week trial of news on your computer, right at your fingertips. A curve in the dirt, and it's ball 2 to the leadoff hitter. We'll be offering you souvenir discounts on selected items on Thursday, September 1st, our final regular season home game of the year. Souvenir discounts on caps and baseball cards. Souvenir programs, just $1. Just $1 on Thursday, September 1st. A ground ball up the middle underneath Stanton's glove, and it is a base hit. Nate Sutton got to it behind second, and it hit off the heel of Nate's mitt, and it'll be a hit for Geraldo Valentin. Oh, they could charge Sutton with an error, but I don't think they will. It was T.J. Stanton's ball, and it just did get underneath the mitt of T.J., and once it got under Stanton's mitt, it was virtually impossible for Nate Sutton, and indeed they have awarded Geraldo Valentin with an infield single. So the tying run at the plate, and Ed Lucas here in the bottom of the 7th. T.J. 4-4, 4 saves, 4.60 ERA. Here's a drive into right center on the run. LeBlanc, and Josh is there and has it. Oh, brother, did Ed Lucas step into the first pitch and swatted it high into the air, into right center. LeBlanc has very good speed, and Josh was able to put it into 5th gear, and with the throttle down, he made a running catch in right center for the 2nd out of the inning. Ed Lucas retired. He had singled to right his last time up. Kernels lead it here in the bottom of the 7th, 4-2. Burlington has a runner at first, and their number 3 hitter, Damaso Espino, he's hit the ball hard twice tonight. Lined out to left, lined out to right, flown out to center. So he's been getting the ball airborne. Stanton, the Colonel right-hander. 6'4", 230 comes set. And Uncle Charlie dips low for a ball. TJ, in 45 innings pitched, has yielded 53 hits. Stanton has struck out 41 batters in 45 innings, walked 20. The league hitting .296 against the effervescent, lovable TJ Stanton. He's just a wonderful young kid. Strike one at the knees, a fastball. TJ started 9 games, relieved in 12 for the Winnipeg Gold Eyes of the Northern Independent League last year. Won 5 and lost 5. Pitched 87 2/3 innings and gave up just 79 hits. Struck out 85 batters and walked 30 in 87 2/3. You can see why the Angels had interest in TJ Stanton. Fastball, strike at the knees to the right-handed hitter. Damaso Espino, who came over to the Royal organization from Cincinnati. The team will be playing the final 4 regular season home games of the year. The Cardinal farmhands, the Swing of the Quad Cities. They're a team we'd love to catch, but realistically we have our sights set on staying in or vaulting ahead of Burlington and Peoria tonight and trying to gain ground on. There goes the runner, and a grounder to first. Chris Walston in front of the bag has it, takes 2 big giant steps to his left, tags the base for an unassisted putout. Valentine was running on the play, but it didn't matter because Espino squirted it on the ground to the Colonel first baseman to end the inning. TJ Stanton hurls a shutout 7th. No runs, 1 hit. There were no Colonel errors, and the Bees leave a runner. They've now left 7 aboard. And after 7, Colonel's on top, 4-2. You're enjoying Colonel baseball from Burlington in the zone.
I am driven to overcome.
I am driven to succeed.
If you're driven, then you need a health insurance company that's driven too and knows how to take care of the self-employed, the backbone of our country. Call and have the Mega Life and Health Insurance Company provide you with affordable health insurance. 800-479-1395, 800-479-1395. Not available in all states. Benefits may vary by state.
Nominate your outstanding high school athlete to be the KCRG TV9 Athlete of the Week. Call Sportsline 9 at 365-9999. Go to KCRG.com or thezone1600.com. Nominate athletes from any sport and any school in the TV9 viewing area. Then watch KCRG TV9 News at 6 on Tuesday for this week's finalists. Nominate your athlete now for TV9's Athlete of the Week.
When it comes to life insurance, think ahead. Think about planning for your family's future with Farm Bureau Financial Services. Joy Sapi in Cedar Rapids can help you determine what coverage is right for you and your family. When so much in life is beyond your control, aren't you glad life insurance isn't? For your family's future, think about life insurance from Joy Sapi in Cedar Rapids. Farm Bureau Financial Services, more than you think. Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, West Des Moines, Iowa.
Craig Shambaugh came in relief of starter Justin Sherman in the 6th inning, surrendered a run on no hits, a hit batter, a wild pitch, 2 walks, and then he gave up a run on a walk, a sacrifice bunt, and a 2-out run-scoring single from Collins in the 7th. Josh LeBlanc will be first up against Craig Shambaugh. Top of the 8th inning. And our Colonel Did You Know question. Did you know that when the American League awarded Kansas City a franchise in 1969, the name Royals emerged over such other proposals as the Kansas City Hearts, the Kansas City Zoomers. Here's a ground ball to short. Vacuuming it up is Geraldo Valentin. He throws out LeBlanc, 1 away on 1 pitch here in the Colonel 8th inning, 4-2 Colonels. When the AL awarded Kansas City a franchise in 1969, the name Royals emerged over such other ideas as the Kansas City Hearts, the Kansas City Zoomers, the Kansas City Eagles. And why was the name Royals chosen? Because of the popularity of Kansas City's annual American Royal Livestock Show. Well, some people say Kansas City's a cow town. I think that's a compliment. I love Kansas City. It is a great, great community. Ball one, low and away to Madrigal. Warner is singled and scored, walked and scored, and laid down a sacrifice bunt that helped the Kernels score. Strike one evens the count to Warner 1-1. And I believe the American Royal Livestock Show in Kansas City is held in a building called the American Royal. In fact, I think here's a line drive, and it's belted foul outside the left field line. Warner checks his bat. He's in the hole 1-2. I believe my aunt in Kansas City, when she was a little girl, used to show horses at the American Royal. But that's how they were chosen. It wasn't because their color is royal blue. It's because of the popularity of the city's annual American Royal Livestock Show. I didn't know that, and that's why we highlighted it as our Colonel Did You Know question. Warner Madrigal spoils a 1-2 pitch and fouls one between the legs of the catcher. 4-2 Kernels, one out top of the eighth, and the right-hander tries to paint the outside corner. Darn near did. Ball 2 to Warner. Madrigal homered last night in the fifth inning to break a scoreless tie in a Colonel 4-2 win. It was his 13th of the season. Ball 3 downstairs from Craig Shambaugh out of University of Louisiana Lafayette to right-handed hitting Colonel DH Warner Madrigal. Hits are even at 7 apiece here in the top of the eighth. And Madrigal squirts the payoff pitch foul off his back foot. It rolls a few feet in front of the plate. The lights here are supported by steel girders that look like what a little boy would have assembled in an erector set when he was little, kind of like power girders. The scoreboard is 20 feet above the right center field wall. It's royal blue with bright advertising panels on the top, Pepsi, Mountain Dew, and then big bright red numbers. The scoreboard was put in, newly installed, about 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. This is a wonderful facility now that they've put time, effort, and money into it. Warner turns away from a pitch inside, and he walks. And that walk is the fourth issued by Craig Shambaugh, and it's the seventh walk drawn by the Kernels tonight. 1 on, 1 out. For Richard Giannotti, the G-man, he came in the ninth inning after Drew Toussaint was struck by a pitch in the left forearm. Pinch ran for Drew, stole second, went to third as the throw by the catcher went into center, and then he scored on a Jordan Wren sacrifice fly to center. Richard Giannotti, switch hitter batting left, 1 for 2 with a walk, and ball 1 is low. Well, it sure has been a great season, and we want you to accept our invitation to meet us at the stadium for the final push of 2-26. They lead Kane County by 2, Beloit by 2.5, the Kernels, Clinton, Peoria, and the Bees by 4.5. Wisconsin's only a half game out, but the Timber Rattlers won the first half, so they're all set. Ball, well, I think it's 3-0, but we'll call it 2-0. It was 3-0. There's ball 4, low and outside, and a pair of walks with 1 out, drawn by Madrigal and Giannotti, and boy, could the Kernels use something big from Jordan Wren. They've gotten it all night. Jordan wrapped into a double play in the second inning, on which Warner Madrigal scored to make it 1-0 Kernels. Jordan drove in the Kernels' second run of the game in the fourth inning as he wrapped a single down the third base line off of Ed Lucas's glove. Then Renz drove in a run with a fielder's choice ground out in the sixth inning to give the Kernels a 3-2 lead. It's now 4-2 Kernels, and Burlington is going to their bullpen. The Bees summon in a lefty who's sprinting in from the left field bullpen. Leaving the game is Craig Shambaugh. He gets a fine hand from this big crowd. Craig Shambaugh goes 2 1/3 innings. And in 2 1/3 so far, he surrendered 2 runs on 1 hit. He struck out 1, and he walked 4. He also hit a batter. And a lefty takes over on the hill for the Bees with the Kernels ahead 4-2 here in the top of the 8th. The southpaw for Burlington is Adam Rowe, R-O-W-E. Adam Rowe, R-O-W-E, a southpaw. On the hill now for Burlington. On the season, Rowe is 1-5 and lost 5. This is his team, or he's second on the team in appearances to Chad Blackwell. This is Rowe's 41st appearance. He has 6 saves. The lefty's 5-5 with a 5.14 ERA. Adam Rowe has given up 75 hits in 63 innings. He struck out 48 batters in 63 innings, walked only 17. The league is hitting .296 against lefty Adam Rowe. Rowe has pitched against the Kernels twice already this season. He has a save against our ball club. And in 2 2/3 innings, Adam Rowe has allowed 2 runs on 2 hits, struck out 2 and walked 2 against the Kernels this season. 20th round pick out of Wooster, Ohio. There's a very, very fine school there, College of Wooster. This fellow Rowe, 6'2", 190, went to school in the Buckeye State at Nazarene University in Mount Vernon, Ohio. Oh, there are a lot of good small schools in the state of Ohio. And Adam Rowe hails from one of them, Mount Vernon, Ohio, Nazarene University. Side-arming lefty, you don't see too many of those, and a cut and a miss by Jordan Renz. Renz has driven in 2 of the Kernel 4 runs, drove in 1 of the Kernel 4 runs last night. 4-2 Kernels, 8th inning, 2 on, 1 out. Madrigal at second, Richard Giannotti at first. The southpaw set above the belt and a fastball slung in outside, and that's what Adam Rowe is. He's a slinger. Mike Myers, the former Iowa State lefty, has the most radically submarine delivery of any left-hander I've ever seen. And Mike Myers is still kicking around in the big leagues. Renz whistles the 1-1 pitch foul into the base of the backstop. The seats here at Community Field are about 4 feet above the playing surface. They're not as high above the diamond as the seats in Fort Wayne at the Coliseum or at Memorial Stadium, but they are 4 feet off the ground here in Burlington. And you're very, very close to the action. Jordan Renz trying to battle out of a 1-2 hole. Ooh, a backdoor changeup just missed low, and it's 2-2 to Renz. Jordan now has 45 runs driven in on the year, 7 home runs. Deuce is wild here in the 8th inning. 2-2 the count, 1 out, 2 on. And the next pitch is golfed high and foul down the first base side. Adam Rowe, R-O-W-E, the third hurler for the Bees tonight. Burlington's in their white home uniforms, royal blue socks, blue shoes, royal blue caps with gold bills. Madrigal at second, Giannotti at first. Another 2-2 to Jordan is ripped into the left center field gap, and it'll be cut off by Kennard Springer. The Kernels are going to try to score Madrigal. He scores, and the runners move up to second and third. A throw to third in safely is Richard Giannotti. Jordan Renz hit a bullet into left center. Bobby Magallanes waved home Warner Madrigal. He scored. The throw from Kennard Springer was very, very weak. Richard Giannotti went from first to third. Jordan Renz, the batter, has driven in his third run of the night, and he makes it 5-2 Kernels here in the 8th inning. Jordan Renz on a 2-strike pitch drilled it into left center. Kennard Springer made a good play to cut it off, but then his throw home had nothing on it. Madrigal scored, and no error yet has been charged to the Bees. You have to account for Renz going to second somehow. Second and third, only one out, and the batter, Chris Walston, takes a strike called. Well, Jordan Renz has driven in not one, not two, but 3 of the Colonel 5 runs tonight. Infield in for the play at the plate. Ground ball, base hit into right by Walston. Giannotti scores to make it 6-2. The throw home trying to get the runner Renz is in time. Jordan Renz is thrown out at the plate by Brian McFall, but the Colonels on a base hit to right by Chris Walston score their second run of this 8th inning and now lead the game 6-2. Giannotti scored from third on the base hit to the left of Gary Perez at second, and Jordan Renz was sent home. He was thrown out at the plate for the second time tonight. The play went right fielder McFall to the catcher Espino, 9-2. And there are 2 gone in this inning. But Chris Walston makes it a 2-run inning, driving home his 25th run of the year, and the Colonels lead it 6-2. Renz thrown out by the right fielder for the second time tonight. And a strike on the outside edge to Sean Rodriguez. Now, both the runs that the Colonels have plated here in the 8th inning have been charged to the departed relief pitcher, Craig Shambaugh. And that's what happens when you walk people. Both Colonels that drew walks, Madrigal and Giannotti, have scored here in the Colonel 2-run 8th inning, and it's 6-2 Colonels. And the lefty row lets one get away from him. It's outside. And it's 2-1 to Sean Rodriguez. Colonels up by 4, trying to make it a 5-1 road trip with 2 to go here in Burlington. Rodriguez pumps the 2-1 pitch straight back into the net for strike 2. The Colonel road record this season, 25-38. In the second half, 11-17. Burlington here at home, overall, 35-29. They played well at home. Our home record, 32-33. Ball 3 in the dirt from Adam Rowe, and now with 2 out, Rusty Brown will play behind Chris Walston. Walston hit a sinking liner into right to drive home Giannotti. Renz tried to score, but Jordan was thrown out at the plate. Renz and Walston have RBIs in this Colonel 2-run 8th inning. There goes Walston, and a high fly ball foul over the first base stands. Walston will chug back to first base. The batter's eye here at Community Field is a very dark army green. An 8-foot-high plywood wall, and then above it, another 6-foot-high wall. There goes Walston, and the pitch outside, and the Colonels have drawn yet another walk. Sean Rodriguez reaches on a free pass for the 3rd time tonight. And now Nate Sutton will try to join in on the Colonel hit parade. The Colonels have 8 hits tonight. Or check that, only have 7 hits. An error has been charged to Burlington, and it was charged to Kennard Springer, the left fielder, on the base hit into left center by Renz. That's the 4th error of the game for the Bees. Now a shot into left center. That's a base hit. Rounding third and scoring is Chris Walston. On to third, Rodriguez. Sean is out at third, but the Colonels score another run. Rodriguez thrown out at third, but the Colonels score another run and lead it 7-2. Nate Sutton thrashes an RBI single into left center, It scored Chris Walston from second to make it a 3-run inning, and Rodriguez was thrown out by the center fielder, Cody Cure. That play at third went 8-5. The Kernels lose 2 men on the base paths, but score 3 runs in the 8th inning on 3 hits. 1 B error, their 4th of the game, and the Kernels leave 1 man on. The Kernels have stranded 8. After 7.5 at Community Field, the Kernels lead Burlington now 7-2. You're listening to Kernel Baseball in the Zone.
1 hour photo, speed dating, DSL for your computer. Everyone's in a hurry these days. Your professional Pekin insurance agent, Scott Draper of Sheets Forest Draper and Marion, doesn't hurry when it comes to helping you with your insurance needs. Scott will gladly sit down with you and outline a solid insurance program just right for you and your budget. Out-of-home, business, life, and health. Scott Draper, your hometown Pekin insurance professional in Marion, will give you the responsive, personal, unhurried service you deserve.
The first big Friday night of the high school football season features a Mississippi Valley Conference matchup of playoff veterans. Hi, this is Scott Unash. Join John Haggerty and me at John Wall Field when Prairie hosts Washington. Our coverage begins at 7:05 with the Radio Iowa Scouting Report. The Hawks were a playoff team a year ago and look to keep the string going against the Cliff Wash squad with a number of returning veterans. That's Week 1, Friday night high school football. Washington or Prairie. Our Friday coverage begins at 7:05 with the pregame at 7:20 here on the Zone, ESPN Radio 1600.
We've been telling you for some time that Greg's Lawn Service is a cut above the rest when it comes to caring for your lawn. However, Greg's experienced staff does so much more than lawn care. They offer complete landscape design and installation, concrete curb edging, grading, sodding, and hydro seeding. Yes, Greg's is a complete lawn care service, and they welcome the opportunity to show you why they are a cut above the rest. Give Greg's a call for more details about their wide range of services.
We go to the bottom of the 8th, and the Kernels enjoy a 7-2 lead here in Burlington. Rusty Brown, the cleanup batter, is grounded to third, struck out twice, and T.J. Stanton in his second inning relief of starter Carl Jelena misses low with ball 1 a fastball. The scoreboard operator has had a tough time keeping up with things this evening. The Kernels have, by my count, 10 hits in this game and have out-hit Burlington 10-7. Ball 2 is outside from TJ to Rusty Brown. The line is final now on reliever Craig Schombaugh. He goes 2 1/3. He allowed 4 runs on 1 hit, struck out 1, walked 4, and hit a batter. And ball 3 to Rusty Brown from Stanton. You heard 3-time Iowa Sportscaster of the Year Scott Unash, who will have Hawkeye Downs Racing for you after tonight's game here in Burlington, promoting the upcoming football season, high school football here in the Zone, and we will cooperate with that exciting time of year, the gridiron kickoff, with our games on the internet next Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. We will not be on the radio. We will be heard on the internet. At KCRG.com, a 3-1 pitch is hammered into right, and that's a base hit for Rusty Brown. He got ahead in the count 3-1, and T.J. Stanton, to his credit, made him hit the ball, and Brown laced it into right for a leadoff single here in the 8th inning. Again, next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we'll be in Kane County finishing up the regular season. Those games will be heard on the internet at KCRG.com. They will not be heard on a tape-delayed basis due to high school football Thursday night, Friday night, and Iowa State Cyclone football on Saturday night. Steve Wright called at the knees to Eddie Solis. Eddie came into this game in the 6th inning at third base. Ed Lucas went out to right to replace Brian McFall, who was hit by a pitch earlier in this game, and I think that's the reason that McFall had to be lifted. Solis, a right-handed hitter, swings at a big breaking pitch, didn't get it, strike 2. Eddie's a right-handed batter. 193 average, but don't let that fool you. He has 8 homers, 42 runs driven in. Eddie Solis, S-O-L-I-S. Runner at first. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 7-2 Kernels. Solis swings at a T.J. Stanton curve and missed strike 3. T.J. pulled the string on Eddie Solis. That's Stanton's second strikeout. And 1-on-1 out here in the Burlington 8th inning. 7-2 Kernels. Tomorrow evening, we'll have the South Slope Communications Triple Play show for you at 6:40. 7 o'clock first pitch. And then the series finale Sunday afternoon at 1:40. A double play ball hit hard. Ooh, a bad hop, and it's going to go into center field, and nothing the Kernels can do except watch Kennard Springer reach first as Rusty Brown goes to third. Boy, was that a tough break for the Kernels. And to the Bees' credit, Springer really hit it hard. It took a oh, no, they've given... Okay, good, because the scorekeeper, who's been off all night, put up E6. I couldn't believe that. It was a terrible hop. In fact, I'm glad it didn't hit Rodriguez in the chin. It hit him in the upper sternum. Remember when Tony Kubek was struck by a ground ball in the 1960 World Series, Pirates and Yankees, and Kubek had to be taken to the emergency room, and he was never quite the same after that ball hit him in the throat. This has been a very tough turn of events for the Kernels. A sure double play ball that would have ended the inning turns into a bad hop single off the upper chest of Sean Rodriguez. Rusty Brown was able to go to third because the ball died in shallow center. But it's a hit for Kennard Springer, the second of the inning for the Bees. That ball should have been a double play. Now a high drive into deep right, and it's going to get over the head of Renz off the wall. One run is in. Another man is stopped at third. The throw there. They have him hung up. Between second and third. Kernels tag the runner out. And the entire complexion of this game has changed on a base-running gaff by Kennard Springer. He has really put a damper on the Bee comeback chances tonight with a very, very bad base-running play. Heads-up ball by the Kernels. Let's recap it. Gary Perez belted one over the head of Jordan Renz for a double. It'll be ruled a double. A run scored, Rusty Brown from third to make it 7-3 Kernels. Kennard Springer rounded third and took too big a turn. Then he couldn't find his feet. The Kernels threw to third. Springer decided to break towards home, and Sandoval threw to Michael Collins. Then Springer tried to burrow his way into the ground. That didn't work, as Michael Collins tagged him out. So credit Gary Perez with an RBI double. He goes to third on the throw from Renz, and from there we'll have to figure it out. It went Renz to the cutoff man. I think it went Renz, Sutton, Sandoval, Collins. 9-4, 5-2. And don't let these little, so-called little things don't overlook them. The Kernels have practiced hour upon hour throughout the spring and summer before the gates even open on fundamentals. Hitting the cutoff man, communicating on the infield, practicing rundowns, and it's all starting to pay off. Lofting a pitch foul outside first is Cody Cure, and snagging it is big Chris Walston to end the inning. Well, the Kernels incur a very bad break, a bad hop single that should have been a double play, and then the Bees take themselves right out of a possible big inning as Kennard Springer was caught around third, and that was a huge, huge play in this ball game. In the eighth, one run for Burlington on 3 hits. There were no Kernel errors. The Bees leave nobody on, or one man on. They had a runner at third when Cody Cure fouled out to first. Burlington is left 8 aboard. And after 8, Kernel 7, Bees 3, you're tuned to Kernel Baseball in the Zone.
When we met, it's forget we would never forget the Ojanos. Now it's where mi amore and I dine in. We carry out the lunch and the dinner all the time for lasagna, ravioli, mandacati, cannelloni, tortellini, or try their delicious salads and soba sandwiches too. The Ojanos is the hometown taste of Italy. For your next meal with friends and a family, remember the Ojanos with 5 convenient locations for the pasta that makes you sing.
I'm Dave Shea. For 35 years, I was news anchor for Channel 2. Now, with gas prices at $2 a gallon, check out Randy Kill Honda and save with great fuel mileage on all Hondas in stock. The safest family sedan, the Honda Accord, will definitely save the family pocketbook with 34 miles to the gallon. Get even better mileage with a compact Civic, getting you there at 38 miles to the gallon. Or check the amazing fuel mileage of the Honda Civic Hybrid. 48 miles to the gallon, and that's in city driving. Randy Kill Honda has a large selection of pre-owned Hondas, too, all with exceptional fuel mileage. Check them out at www.randykiel.com. Also, Randy Kiel offers a 7-year, 100,000-mile confidence guarantee on new vehicles. You can take my word for it, but you may also want to talk with other Honda owners. They're people you know, your friends, your neighbors, maybe even your relatives. I'm saving on gas prices by driving my Honda, and you can too. See Randy Kiel Honda on Center Point Road Northeast.
And he hit a bullet into the picnic deck that parallels the right field line. Luckily, nobody hurt on that one. Freddy, batting right-handed for the first time tonight, leads off the Colonel ninth in Burlington, where the Kernels are ahead 7-3. Excuse me, it's very rare to sneeze on the air, but I just accomplished that. Strike 2 to Freddy. Freddy tonight has walked, reached on an infield single, wrapped out to second, and flown out to shallow center. Facing lefty Adam Rowe for the first time is Freddy Sandoval. And a pitch wasted low and away. Well, thanks to Sports Information Director Todd Brummelkamp, who will rejoin us for the State Farm Major League Scoreboard on the Colonel Curtain call. We have mixed news. As Todd said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I think that was a Helen Reddy song. Swing and a miss by Freddy, and 1 gone here in the Colonel 9th inning. The bad news, in Dayton, Beloit trailed early, but the Snappers came back, and they dumped the Dragons 6-2 tonight. Beloit will stay at least, or they will be 2 games ahead of the Colonels, depending on if the Colonels hold on here tonight. The good news is play is resumed at John O'Donnell Stadium. Boy, there must be a cloud hanging right over that ballpark, because that's the only place in Iowa I know where it's raining. Here's a bouncer. Ooh, foul ball. Justin Bachman doesn't argue. Michael Collins thrashed it on the ground, foul pass first. But they've resumed in Davenport at John O'Donnell, where the Kane County Cougars are tied with the Swing of the Quad Cities 1-1 in the bottom of the 4th. 1-1 the score. Again, as Todd explained earlier, it may seem rather disjointed for us to be rooting for the team that's in first place, but with only 11 regular season games remaining, we have to set our sights on the teams that are most catchable, and Kane County and Beloit are those 2 teams. So we want the Swing to win. We'll take care of them, hopefully, at home during our last 4 home games of the regular season. Another piece of fantastic news, bottom of the 8th inning at O'Brien Stadium, as the 1-1 pitch is lofted foul down the first base side, out of play by Collins. At O'Brien Field, the West Michigan Whitecaps lead Peoria 6-0 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Boy, the Colonels are playing well down the stretch, trying to go 5-1 on this 8-game trip to Clinton and Burlington with 2 remaining here at Community Field. Michael Collins has scored a run and driven in a run tonight. Ball 2 outside from the sidewinding lefty. Adam Rowe told you about what a great mecca of small Division III schools this fella's home state, Ohio, is. He heaves one to the backstop, all 3 to Collins. Just off the top of my head, I remember John Carroll University, Denison College, Wilberforce University. Worcester, College of Worcester, we've talked about that in Ohio. Tiffin. There are a lot of good Division III schools in the Buckeye State. In fact, they have a little conference of them. I remember that as well. I think it's called the Ohio Conference, but Oberlin, I think Oberlin was one of the first colleges to accept African Americans. Baldwin Wallace, that's a very good school in Ohio. Division III. Payoff to Michael, and he hammers it foul above the head of the on-deck hitter, Josh LeBlanc. We're in the top of the ninth inning. Kernels are ahead 7-3. And the hits are even at 10 apiece. Carl Jelena, Kernels starter, gave up 6 hits in 6 innings. T.J. Stanton is allowed a run on 4 hits in his 2 innings. I'm sure some of you listening are familiar with the academic excellence of those Division III schools in Ohio. Michael walks. Boy, did he earn that walk. They talk about Albert Pujols, a former Midwest leaguer, never giving away an at-bat. And what that term means is that you kind of don't focus on every single pitch. Pujols never gives away an at-bat, no matter what the score is, no matter what the situation. Michael Collins is very similar. He never gives away an at-bat. In other words, he just battled and battled. He was in the hole 0-2, fouled off a few pitches, worked the count, and then walked. And that is exactly why Michael is going to keep progressing in the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim system. He was just beaming almost with more pride from being invited to fall instructional league this September and October in Arizona than he was being named to the postseason Midwest League All-Star team. Michael's a worker. You could put him on my team any day. LeBlanc, left-handed hitter, facing the southpaw row. Strike call, the fastball at the knees. Once again, we want to thank all of you Kernel fans that have come out from early April through this final regular season homestand. As Todd said, we hope we'll be talking playoffs by next weekend. We'll be in Kane County. Strike 2 called to Josh LeBlanc. LeBlanc is the sole Kernel without a hit tonight. He has drawn a walk, but everybody else has reached safely on a base hit. Boy, does it help to have a second, not just set of eyes, but a guy that loves the game like Todd. And I don't want to dissuade him from staying in the written realm of journalism, but I sure hope he thinks long and hard about this wonderful world of sportscasting, because he's taken to it very well. A curve is outside, and it's 1-2 to LeBlanc. You know, I used to wonder about how a guy could know so much about cars. I'm sure you guys, you listeners, have met. Strike 3 call. That pitch looked a foot outside, a sweeping curve. LeBlanc argues to no avail with Doug Levy, the plate umpire. 2 away in the ninth. We all know people who know everything about cars, and sometimes we scratch our head and say, well, how did you learn all that about cars? What junior college did you go to? What technical school? What apprentice program? And sometimes the person we admire will say, oh, I went here or there, but half the time, or more than half the time, they'll just say, well, I grew up around cars. I love them. I tinker with them. I go to car shows. I read magazines. And that's kind of what Todd Brummelkamp and I have in common. We both have liberal arts educations, but we didn't go to Syracuse University like Bob Costas and study broadcasting. We grew up listening to games. And that's where the love comes. Joe Torres is standing up but not throwing in the Kernel bullpen. Madrigal on an 0-1 pitch fouls it straight back. And what I'm saying is, hold on. Okay, we have an attendance, and it's a good one, 1,584. Most of you know the joy inherent in doing something that you love. And everybody in the Kernel front office pinches themselves and clicks their heels before coming into the stadium every day. At least I know a couple that do. And that's because we feel so blessed to be in this great profession. Ball one low to Warner. Now a bouncer to second. Perez has it and throws to first to retire Madrigal. Warner Madrigal has the key play in this game. He scored 3 runs, but his sacrifice bunt back in the 6th inning helped the Kernels take the lead. And the Kernels have maintained that lead since Warner's sacrifice bunt in the 6th. Madrigal chops out to second. In the 9th, no runs for the Kernels, no hits, a walk. There were no Burlington errors. The Kernels strand a runner and have left 9. After 8.5 at Community Field in Burlington, Kernels 7, Bees 3. You're listening to Kernel Baseball in the Zone.
Take out the papers and the trash.
Before you take out the trash, remember to recycle glass bottles and jars, most plastic packaging materials, paper products, and cardboard. Unfortunately, there are items that cannot be recycled, including plastic bags. They can be reused or put in your trash containers for curbside collection. Styrofoam can also be discarded with the rest of your trash and garbage. Cedar Rapids Solid Waste and Recycling thanks you for your efforts to reduce waste and save landfill space.
This is The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Let me tell you what was Army-Navy, not relevant. What is today? Conference championship game. What was? Men's tennis. What is? Women's tennis. What was? Your son was a good Little League. What is? Your daughter is now more athletic than your son at 6 years old and on. What was quirky? Wide world of sports. What is quirky? The X Games. What was? Network game of the week. What is? DirecTV Sunday ticket. What was heavyweight boxing. What is? Smaller guys. You used to keep score at games. That was what was. Guess what? What is? Outfield restaurants and interactive ballpark games. I'm not saying you can't love what was, but understand what is, because often what is now is the same as what was guy thought was innovative and cool 30 years ago. But now, suddenly, he's above it and thinks it's stupid and irrelevant.
Don't be left out of the herd. Only on ESPN Radio.
Todd, I think they're girlfriends of Kernels. And I'm not sure who. Well, or, yeah, or possibly one's engaged. They don't know.
Frederick Deloiza-Gacarni on in relief. We were looking down below, and a couple of gals we wondered might be engaged to some of the ball players. One of them has on a giant ring, and boy, it's a tough lifestyle if you are engaged at this age, because if you're the woman, you have to be very, very patient and understanding, because your husband-to-be is working under a lot of stress, working every day, and trying to maintain a relationship is not easy. Frederick Deloiza-Gacarni has answered a U.S. Cellular Speed Talk call to the Kernel bullpen, and his first pitch, a fastball, misses outside to Darwinson Salazar. Bottom of the 9th, 7-3 Kernels. Deloiza-Gacarni is a tall right-hander, 6'3", 215. And his next delivery is at the knees, a fastball for a strike. Frederick on for the 3rd time since rejoining the ball club earlier this month from Rancho Cucamonga. Frederick pitched 2/3 of a scoreless inning in relief of Carl Jelena on Saturday in Clinton. His curveball is hit foul, but long and foul down the right field line by Darwinson Salazar. Frederick Deloiza-Gacarni just turned 23 years old 5 days ago. 33rd round pick by the Angels out of Regis University in Denver. That's a Catholic school. I believe Division II. Salazar, so far tonight, 0 for 3, but has hit the ball hard once. Curve, and that one's grounded up the middle for a leadoff single. Frederick Deloiza-Gacarni has surrendered a leadoff base hit to the number 9 hitter to open up the B 9th inning. That's Burlington's 11th hit of the night. T.J. Stanton pitched the 7th and 8th innings in relief of Jelena. T.J. in 2 innings surrendered 1 run on 4 hits. Struck out 2 and walked none. Now Frederick will have to face the top of the order in Geraldo Valentin, who singled underneath the glove of Stanton back in the 7th inning. On the year, Carney has no record with the Kernels, 7 saves and a 1.74 ERA. He was with us from the beginning of April to early June when he was promoted. Fastball, a humdinger for a strike to Valentin. 10 o'clock, and you're enjoying Kernel Baseball from Burlington in the zone. ESPN Radio 1600, KCRG, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. A fastball rides inside. It's 1-1 to Valentin. Deloiza Carney in 20 2/3 innings with the Kernels has given up 17 hits. Fanned 20 batters in 20 2/3, walked only 5. And a slider upstairs. Frederick just has not looked quite himself yet, although in his first 2 appearances, you can't complain. No runs, 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 2 walks, but his mechanics are just a little bit out of sync. His fastball is pounded foul off to the right, strike 2. We have a winner from earlier tonight on our Kernel Roadshow Trivia Challenge question. We have a winner from earlier tonight, our Kernel Roadshow Trivia Challenge question from Iowa City. Uh-oh, here's a drive into right center for extra bases. Let's see if Salazar scores all the way from first. He should. They're going to wave him home. The relay from, well, the throw to third. That runner is safe with a triple. Burlington is on the warpath. The Kernel lead is 7-4. Runner at third, nobody out for Burlington. Yeah, Frederick has just not been quite himself. He just doesn't look himself. And when you surrender a triple into the right center field gap by a guy with only 3 home runs, you know that something's wrong. Let's see who the Kernels get up in the bullpen. Back to our Kernel Roadshow Trivia Challenge. We asked you to email us with the answer to a question. What team scouted, developed, drafted, scouted, developed, and then traded Randy Hundley, Dave Kingman, George Foster, Orlando Cepeda, and here's a foul straight back. Miguel González is warming up in the Kernel bullpen. I think here it is. We asked you what team signed, developed, and traded Randy Hundley, George Foster, Gary Maddox, Orlando Cepeda, and Dave Kingman. And here's a drive down the line and right. It's a base hit. It's a 2-run game. This one is in great peril right now. Renz makes a terrific play to cut it off down the right field line. And Frederick Deloiza Carney is not retired a batter. Ed Lucas singles in the second run of the inning to make it a 7-5 game. And now things are getting very, very tight. Damaso Espino will bat. The question is, will he bat against Frederick Deloiza Carney? I don't think so. Congratulations to John Billups. John Billups of Iowa City correctly said the San Francisco Giants was the team that signed, developed, and then traded Hundley, Foster, Randy Hundley, George Foster, Gary Maddox, Orlando Cepeda, and Dave Kingman. And as Todd said, those 5 guys the Giants got very, very little for, and they all had very good big league careers. Randy Hundley was the anchor of the great Cub teams of the late 60s and early and mid-70s. George Foster, 52 home runs for the Reds in the mid-70s, part of the Big Red Machine. Gary Maddox, one of the smoothest fielding center fielders, helped Philadelphia win 3 straight Eastern Division titles in the mid-70s. Orlando Cepeda, Hall of Famer. Dave Kingman is, Todd said, surly, mean, quirky, but hit over 400 home runs. Uh-oh. Bobby Magallanes is, Frederick Deloiza Carney has accidentally stood up Bobby Magallanes, and Bobby won't take that. Todd, please put on the headsets. Here's why. something has been eating at Frederick Deloitte Kearney, and I'm not going to bring out the club's dirty laundry, but you don't ever show up a manager, and Frederick had a few choice words for Bobby. I'm sure he was upset with himself, but Bobby expects this game to be played professionally, and you cannot do what Frederick just did.
No, John, you cannot. And that harkens me back to a bad memory I have when I played in high school. I stormed off the pitching mound at one point and purposely dropped the ball when I was handing it to our coach who came out to take me out of the ball game. I never pitched in another varsity game again in my life. It was my one and only shot, and I apologize for it. It's being a baseball man, it's poor etiquette. Sometimes when you're a gamer, and Frederick, when he was with us earlier in the season, there is no harder worker, more determined to succeed than Frederick Deloitte Kearney. And I think when you're a gamer like that, sometimes you let your emotions get the better of you. We've seen it with around Major League Baseball with hotheads like Carl Everett and most recently Milton Bradley. Now, Frederick is not in that league, but when you're a gamer and things aren't going your way, you want someone to take the frustration out on. Unfortunately, Frederick took that frustration out on number 37, and you just don't do that.
No, and you're right. Frederick is a gamer, and, hey, all of us make small mistakes. It was a small mistake by Frederick, and he and Bobby will iron it out. You just, an example, Toko Omo, a Japanese right-hander with the Washington Nationals.
Omo Oka.
Yeah, he stood up Frank Robinson 2 days later.
Oh, you don't stand up a Hall of Famer.
Thank you. He was gone.
You do not stand up a Hall of Famer. But let's focus on the positive
yes.
here. We've still got a 2-run lead, and we've got Miguel González, who has what Bobby Magianis calls a major league splitter.
And Damaso Espino will probably see that pitch. The Kernels now facing the tying run at the plate. Nobody out. To Frederick's credit, he did not walk a batter. He did give up 2 runs on 3 hits. Couldn't retire a batter. Strike one from Miguel González, answering the second U.S. Cellular Speed Talk call to the bullpen this inning. Miguel has been outstanding, especially the last 6 weeks. He's 2-5, 4 saves, and a 5.18 ERA. He saved last night's Colonel 4-2 win.
That first strike was that splitter.
And the crowd didn't like it as they gave it to Doug Levy, the plate umpire. Espino bounces one foul over the head of Jim Gabella, the B skipper. 7-5 Kernels, 13 hits for Burlington. Miguel González, a 6'1" right-hander, is ahead of the batter. Espino 0-2. Miguel last night pitched a perfect 9th inning, struck out a batter to save it for Fernando Rodriguez Jr. Espino bats from a deep, low crouch. And tomahawks one foul past first. Boy, did he wait forever to pull the trigger, and then I thought he broke his bat. I guess he didn't. That was a very awkward-looking swing, but a very good swing by Espino because he protected the plate successfully. 7-5 Kernels. Runner at first, nobody out. Top of the 9th inning, Miguel González saved the game Sunday in Clinton, saved last night's game. He's trying to save this one. And a loop at a second. Sutton has it. Throw to first. Getting back just in time, Ed Lucas. Damaso Espino broke his bat and looped it to second for the first out of the inning. And let me go back, Todd, to reiterate what you said, what an outstanding person Frederick is. This is a first-time thing, and as you said, hey, we all have tempers. For heaven's sakes, I blew up at Andrea Murphy earlier this spring. I was just boiling. I didn't blow up at her. I blew up at a situation. And that's what Frederick did.
And I am sure there will be an apology issued in the clubhouse if there hasn't already been one in the dugout.
As Todd said, the main point is the Kernels are trying to lock this one down. Swing and a miss on that split-fingered pitch. Todd, the best split-fingered pitch I ever saw was Bruce Sutter in his prime in the late 70s.
Ooh, absolutely.
The bottom fell out of it.
Absolutely. And now Bobby Magianis claims that this is a major league splitter that Miguel González has. This is a free agent signing. This is what scouting is all about. His other pitches, his fastball and his changeup, They may grade out at average, but if you have one pitch that is major league, you're going to be dominant.
A little looper to first, and it's a second out of the ninth inning. Boys, that ball, Todd, scared me. Rusty Brown must have hit it off the trademark. I thought it was headed into right field, but there was big Chris Walson lunging to his right to nab it. Then he alertly turned and chased Ed Lucas back to first, almost a double play.
Almost ending the game and getting us out of it.
Well, we're within 1 out of a victory. The Kernels have been out hit 13-10, but are leading this game 7-5 in the ninth inning. The batter is Eddie Solis. Swing and a miss. Solis came on in the sixth inning to play third base, and he's 0 for 2 tonight. He is grounded to third and struck out. Miguel González working from the stretch with Ed Lucas at first. And a pop foul over the first base stand, strike 2. The Kernels are trying to go 5-1 on this 8-game road trip, trying to make it 2 in a row over Burlington, trying to send the Bees to their 7th straight loss, trying to stay within 2 of Beloit, and perhaps pick up a game on Kane County. All of those things are in play. Michael Collins goes to the mound to have a word with Miguel González. This crowd of 1,584 is still very much into this ball game.
As they should be.
Exactly, as they well should be. Uh-oh, a deep drive into left center may make it a one-run game. I think it will. Yes, it will. It'll be an extra base hit for Eddie Solis. Racing around third and scoring is Ed Lucas. It came on an 0-2 pitch.
If my eyes do not deceive me, I believe that was a split that got left up in the zone.
And the sad part about it, the Kernel outfielders were playing deep to try to prevent an extra base hit. But I mean, Solis just hammered it. Just drilled it into left center. First hit off Miguel González. Lucas scored all the way from first to make it a 7-6 game. Burlington's out hit the Kernels 14-10. Kernels lead it 7-6, looking for 1 out to try to win this game. Burlington is trying to tie it or win it here in the ninth inning.
This is baseball.
Ooh, this is something. Hang on to everything. Hold on to everything. Kennard Springer takes strike 1 call to split-fingered fastball on the outside corner. Tying run at second, 2 out, bottom of the ninth. Jack Rader is pacing in his home or next to his Randy Keel van or perhaps in the office.
I vote office.
Ooh, a pitch just missed outside for ball 1. Springer tonight has walked, hit into a fielder's choice and scored, singled and singled. And had he not made a base-running gaffe in the 8th inning, this game would be tied. Ed Lucas has the 5th hit, Eddie Solis has the 4th hit of the 9th inning. Swing and a miss on a good split finger from Miguel González. Kernels once again within an out and a strike of a cliff-hanging win. Can they get it? Springer drives it into the right field corner. It's slicing foul beyond the reach of the hustling right fielder Wren. And Springer remains in the hole 1-2. Kernels remain ahead 7-6. Burlington is struck for 3 here in the 9th inning on 4 hits. 2 of them for extra bases. And all the runs charged to Deloitte Kearney. That doesn't matter. Miguel González comes set just below the letters and misses low and away with that split-fingered pitch. Ball 2. Deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Tying run at second. Bottom of the 9th inning. 7-6 Kernels. González with the tying run at second, brings it. A tap over the hill, tough play for Rodriguez. He throws, safe. Runner at third, tying run at third, winning run at first, 9th inning. It'll be an infield single. Sean just couldn't get it out of his glove. It was a bang play. No argument by the Kernels. Safe at first, Kennard Springer. The ninth, the eighth man to bat in the inning for Burlington, Gary Perez. Safe at first was Kennard Springer. That is 5 hits in the inning, 15 hits in the game for Burlington. And out comes Colonel pitching coach Kernan Ronan. I don't imagine we can stand much more drama and anguish both here in the ninth inning. Todd, it was a bang-bang play. Sean would have had Kennard Springer, but the ball got glued into the heel of his mitt as he was trying to throw on the run, cutting towards home plate.
Absolutely, and it still wound up being a bang-bang play at first base. Just a hair of a split second.
And we're
out of this ball game.
The right call was made.
Absolutely.
Victor Carapaza. It could have gone either way. All right, the eighth man to bat in the ninth inning for Burlington is Gary Perez. And, Todd, this is going to sound crazy, but Jim Gavella may try to squeeze this thing home with 2 out. He may try to squeeze it home. Sandoval and Walston are playing deep. Well, Walston's holding the winning run at first. Curve of beauty, strike one called. Not once, but twice, Miguel González has been within an out and a strike of a Colonel win.
Well, if Gabella's going to try to squeeze, he may do it here, now that there's 1 strike.
The 0-1. Here it is, and the ball hit him. Bases loaded, or did it hit his bat? Did it hit him or his bat? Is this game going to be
They're calling it a foul ball.
And, Todd, I'm not going to take any credit. I smelled a squeeze.
And I correctly called. We're on top of it tonight here.
You knew the count it would happen on if it was going to happen.
Well, Jim Gabella's a baseball guy, and baseball guys tend to want to get sneaky. And he wasn't going to try it right off the bat. I'm a little bit of a gambler. I love to play cards. You never tip your hand right away. If you got pocket aces, you want to hold on to those suckers and slow play them a little bit.
Well, here's what happened. Perez squared to try to squeeze the tying run home. The pitch, I thought, hit him in the hand. It hit his bat and ricocheted foul towards the B third base dugout. For the third time in the ninth inning, the Kernels are within a strike and an out of a win. And again, Michael Collins goes out to the hill to talk it over with Miguel González.
Hang in there, Jack, and the remainder of the Kernels fans.
Yes, I know broadcast assistant Julia Jansen is on the edge of her seat as well. First and third, 2 out. Tying run at third, winning run at first, the 0-2. It hit him! It hit him to load the bases, and he's hurt. He is hurt. Gary Perez is hurt. He was drilled in the left shoulder blade. Listen to the crowd. It hit him to load the bases. What else can go wrong in the ninth inning? Can the Kernels still win it with the bases loaded? Winning run at second now, tying run at third. How do you hit a guy on an 0-2 pitch that wasn't even close to the plate? What could Collins and Sandoval have been telling Miguel González?
I don't know, but how do you boo a pitcher for hitting a guy? It's not intentional.
Exactly.
There's fans here who want González thrown out of the game. You're not going to load the bases when you have a 1-run lead in the bottom of the ninth inning.
And it puts
ludicrous. Now this, as you were just about to say, puts the Bees between a rock and a hard place. They have 1 position player left, and it is a catcher.
Listen to the hand for the fallen warrior, Gary Perez. I think they're going to lift him from the game.
They are either going to have to use Felipe Del Rosario, their catcher, as a pinch runner or a pitcher.
And it looks like Del Rosario is trotting in from the left field bullpen.
They have nobody else. If this game goes extra innings, the Bees will have to get very, very creative with their lineup.
Well, Gary Perez was drilled in the left shoulder blade, and Del Rosario, the pinch runner. I don't want to be over melodramatic, but the outcome of this game could determine the future playoff hopes of both these ball clubs. The Kernels entered the inning leading 7-3. Now the tying run at third, winning run at second, 2 out, and Cody Cure, who had 2 hits last night, has an RBI single tonight, is at the plate. Del Rosario is pinch running for Perez at first base. Bases loaded, bottom of the ninth, 7-6 Kernels. Well, we've seen a lot this season, but we've never seen one like this one.
Cure is 1 for 4 tonight.
3 times the Kernels had 2 outs and a 2-strike pitch on a Bee hitter. 3 times the Bees staved off a loss and came through. Will the 4th time be a charm? Cody Cure swings and tips it foul into the mid of Collins, strike 1. Cody has played in 45 games, a .266 batter. As Todd said, he's 1 for 4 tonight. He was 2 for 3 last night. This crowd is going berserk. Miguel's 0-1. Low and away. Collins with a good stop. 1 ball, 1 strike. The inning started with the on-deck hitter, Darwinson Salazar, singling into center. The Bees have scored 3 runs, have the bases loaded with 2 out. A high drive down the right field line, slicing into the Colonel bullpen. Once again, out of the reach of Renz. Once again, for the 4th time, Todd, a 2-strike, 2-out situation. The Colonels once again 1 strike and 1 out away from a victory.
You can't hit a guy. You can't walk him in. And in this situation, a base hit may end the ball game. They could score 2 runs on a base hit.
Tyne run at third, Solis. Winning run at second, Kennard Springer.
And Springer has good speed.
And he has a big lead. Miguel González working from the stretch. Shakes off Michael Collins, now has the sign he wants.
This is baseball.
Cody Cure. Line drive to Rodriguez on 1 hop. Throw to first. Oh, in time! In time! In time! And the Colonels hang on! The Colonels hang on! And win it 7-6! And win it 7-6! Cody Cure, a 1-hop smash to Rodriguez. John Throw pulled Walton up the first base side toward the right field line. And Cure just missed beating it out. And the Colonels have hung on and won it 7-6, despite being out hit 15-10 in the 9th inning. 3 runs for Burlington, 5 hits, no Colonel errors. The Bees strand 3, they left 11. And Todd, you said it, this is baseball. I still don't know how the Colonels got out of this thing with a win in hand other than sheer courage.
Kill the lights, bring on the fireworks, and let's celebrate a Colonel's victory.
We'll be back to do that in just a moment on the Colonel Curtain Call, 7-6 Colonels. This is Colonel Baseball in the Zone.
This is Merlin Olson for the National Association for the Self-Employed. Have you ever wondered what other small business owners do for their benefits? It's not an easy task to find benefits. Tell you what I did. I joined the National Association for the Self-Employed. They're the nation's leading resource for micro-business owners. The NASC offered me the perfect small business benefit package at an affordable price. I gained access to affordable health insurance and also a great package of discounts on other personal and business benefits. Things I can really use, like discounted dental services, unlimited tax advice, and emergency road service. If you're self-employed or you run a micro business, do what I did. Call the National Association for the Self-Employed.
Health insurance is underwritten by the Mega Life and Health Insurance Company. 800-327-1913. 800-327-1913. Not available in all states. 800-327-1913. 800-327-1913.
It's time for the Colonel's Curtain Call, right here on the Zone, ESPN Radio 1600 AM. With a recap of all the action, the State Farm Major League scoreboard, plus a look ahead to the next Colonel's game, let's rejoin the voice of the Colonels, the one, the only John Rogers, here on the Zone, ESPN Radio 1600 AM.
Well, the fireworks are really a letdown, not in terms of their beauty and their thrilling effect, but in emotion. I'll tell you what, all the fireworks the Bees could summon up were thrown at the Colonels in a rampaging, wild, unpredictable, and long 9th inning. Colonels have won it 7-6. They were out hit 15-10, but showed a ton of resiliency and gumption in that ninth inning when the Bees threw everything they had at Frederick Deloitte-Gacarni and Miguel González. Welcome back to Community Field in Burlington. The Kernel road trip record stands at 5-1. The Kernels hang on 7-6 in this Game 2 of the series. Kernels had Carl Jelena on the hill this evening, and he acquitted himself quite well after his 8 1/3 scoreless innings in the shutout win Saturday in Clinton. Carl went 6 innings this evening and only gave up 2 runs on 6 hits, struck out 4, walked 1, and hit a batter. And the Kernels took an early lead. They did so with runners at first and third and nobody out on a Jordan Wren's double play ball that scored Madrigal. Right back came the Bees. They tied it on a ground ball out to short by Perez, their second baseman, Gary Perez, that scored Brian McFall in the second inning. The seesaw battle continued in the fourth. The Kernels scored the go-ahead run on a Jordan Wren's RBI single. Jordan drove in 3 of the Kernels' 7 runs tonight. His single plated Warner Madrigal and made it 2-1 Kernels. Back came the Bees. A 2-out RBI single by Cody Cure scored Kennard Springer in the bottom of the fourth. We were tied at 2. The Kernels then in the 6th inning scored a run, a go-ahead run, without the benefit of a hit. The key play in the inning was a sacrifice bunt by Warner Madrigal and a fielder's choice RBI groundout by Wren's that scored Collins, who was hit by a pitch to open the 6th inning. That came against reliever Craig Schomburg of Burlington. Kernels made it 4-2 in the 7th, and they did so on an RBI single dumped into left center by Michael Collins that drove in Sean Rodriguez. Then the Kernels looked to put it on ice with a 3-run 8th inning off of a combination of Chris Schomburg and Adam Rowe. RBI singles by Wren's, Walston, and Sutton gave the Kernels what looked to be an insurmountable 7-2 lead. That was not the case. Burlington scored a run on 3 hits in the 8th inning off T.J. Stanton, and then in the 9th they sent 9 men to the plate and scored 3 runs. All 3 were charged to Frederick Deloitte-Gacarni, and the Kernels weathered a storm and a rally by the Bees. Burlington with 5 hits in their 3-run 9th inning. The game ended with the tying run at third, the winning run at second, on a 1-hopper to Sean Rodriguez at short, who threw on to Chris Walston just in time to get Cody Cure. Here's the final line score. The Kernels 7 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. The Kernels left 9. Burlington 6 runs, 15 hits, 4 errors. The Bees stranded 11. Winning pitcher for the Kernels was Carl Jelena. He's now 9-8. Carl Jelena, the winner, 9-8. Carl against the Bees this year is 2-0. The loser was relief pitcher Craig Shambo. Shambo, the loser, his record is 1-1. The game took 3 hours and 19 minutes before a crowd of 1,584. Miguel González earns his 5th save of the year, his 2nd straight in this series. 7-6 Kernels. Will be back in just a moment with our Access Direct play of the game here in the zone.
Summer is a perfect time to enjoy fresh, colorful flowers and blooming plants. Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center has the finest quality flowers and plants for both indoors and out. Plus, as always, all the expert advice you need to make your plants grow their best. Whether it's a single fresh flower or an entire wedding, a single household plant, or a yard of landscaping, Peck's does it all. Family-owned and serving Eastern Iowa since 1956. We've been proud supporters of Kernels baseball for over 10 years. Peck's offers you the best plants and flowers available. Peck's is also your professional FTD and teleflorist florist with a certified garden, nursery, and landscaping center. Peck's is your year-round growing center and flower headquarters. Stop in for Peck's fresh flower feature, fresh-cut short-stem roses, just $9.95 a dozen, cash and carry. Peck's Flower Shop, Garden Center, Nursery, and Landscaping at the corner of Blair's Ferry and Edgewood Road Northeast.
Well, the crowd here in Burlington enjoyed a terrific ball game. So did we, and we hope you were delighted with the outcome. The Kernels win a cliffhanger 7-6. The fireworks continue to dazzle the big crowd here at Community Field of 1,584. Kernels were out-hit 15-10, but win it 7-6. Access Direct is always proud to bring you the Access Direct play of the game. Access Direct has a benefit package that's simply out of this world. And if you're looking for a fun, friendly place to work with a casual dress code, I recommend that you learn more about Access Direct. First, let me tell you about those benefits. A 401k savings plan, 6 paid holidays per year, starting wage $8.50 with 50-cent pay increases, medical, dental, vision insurance. I just don't know of too many employers anymore that can offer those kind of benefits. Access Direct can, and best of all, they're looking to fill full and part-time schedules. To join the team at Access Direct, call 261-0260. That's 261-0260, or log on to their website, www.accdir.com. Well, this one came down to the wire. There was no wiggle room for the Kernels and Miguel González. After 3 runs had scored in the 9th inning, Burlington had the bases loaded, 2 outs, and the tying run at third, the winning run at second, the batter, Cody Cure, who had 2 hits last night and an RBI single tonight. With the bases loaded, the count was 1 ball, 2 strikes. Let's tune in and listen to our Access Direct play of the game.
Cody Cure. Line drive to Rodriguez on 1 hop. Going to first. Oh, in time! In time! In time! And the Kernels hang on! The Kernels hang on! And win it 7-6! And win it 7-6! Cody Cure, a 1-hop swing to Rodriguez. John throw. Ball Walton up the first base side toward the right field line. And Cure just missed beating it out. And the Kernels have hung on and won it 7-6, despite being out hit 15-10.
Oh, what a finish it was. Miguel González the save, and the Kernels, who built a 7-2 lead through 7.5 innings, struggled but came through with, as we said, Todd and I, a lot of resiliency, perseverance, belief, and they stemmed off a furious charge down to the finish line by the Bees, who deserved all sorts of commendation for their roster that was just as depleted, quite frankly, but for them to hang in and make it that close and be on the verge of a victory was a real credit to their ball club. 7-6 Kernels, that's our Access Direct play of the game. Up next, Todd will have a complete look at the scores on the State Farm Major League scoreboard here in the zone.
At Zimmerman's, we believe that the voice of the customer speaks the loudest. Let's hear what our customers have to say.
We chose Zimmerman because our family has been buying cars. I guess we're probably the 3rd generation to buy cars here at Zimmerman.
My family's bought 18 cars at Zimmerman's. 18. I ought to get a little bonus or something, wouldn't it?
We build our reputation on one satisfied customer at a time. On behalf of everyone at Zimmerman's, I want to thank you for your business.
Who's that cool cooking man? King of the grill, who's Shaw? Patio, Charbroil, sausage flipping man with the buns, who's your patio?
He only cooks when it's #1 for taste and fun.
Econo Foods is the place to save on Clements Fine products this week. Shop Econo Foods for hot pricing on Clements.
Todd Brummelkamp, John Rogers back at Community Field in Burlington, and we're both just mesmerized and quite stunned and thrilled by a fireworks grand finale, the likes of which we've never seen in any minor league ballpark. Todd, I don't know how the pyrotechnic experts do it, but somehow they span the entire outfield wall and light up the sky for about 300 feet across, and I just don't know how that's done.
Literally right above us here at Community Field, too, right on top. We talk about all the time about how you're on top of the baseball game while the fireworks were on top of the fans tonight.
And the Kernels were on top of Burlington, holding on to shade the Bees 7-6. State Farm Insurance agents Gary Schubat, Dale Thompson, Lanny Peterson, and Al Shetler bring us a look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard, and yes, there will be an important addendum to it. Todd not only has the big league scores thanks to those State Farm Insurance agents, but Todd has the very latest on where the Kernels stand now with 10 games remaining in the regular season in their quest for a playoff berth.
Thank you, John, and thank you, as always, to Lanny, Al, Dale, and Gary for sponsoring the State Farm Major League Scoreboard. We'll start in the National League, where the Marlins handed the Cubs a 7-5 loss today. Glendon Rush, the losing pitcher for the Northsiders. Cincinnati's 6-1 victory at Pittsburgh over the Pirates. The Washington Nationals defeated the St. Louis Cardinals today 4-1 at RFK Stadium. Brad Wilkerson homered for the former Expos. Milwaukee, 3-1 victors over the Atlanta Braves at Miller Park in Milwaukee. Game still in progress in the National League. The Arizona Diamondbacks on top of the Phillies, 3-2 through 6 innings. Actually, that game is in the bottom of the 6th. The San Diego Padres, no surprise to me, trail the Colorado Rockies 4-1. That game is in the bottom of the 5th inning. Adam Eaton returning from the disabled list for the Padres. He got the start tonight at Petco. The New York Mets lead San Francisco 1-0 on the Bay. That game is in the top of the 6th inning. And in the top of the 4th inning, it's Houston 1, Los Angeles 0. That's the Los Angeles Dodgers of the National League. We'll finish up over there and take a look at the American League, where the New York Yankees 5-1 winners over the Burlington Bees parent club Kansas City Royals today in the Bronx. Randy Johnson improves to 12-8. His ERA now 4.20 as Alex Rodriguez and Bernie Williams. Bernie hit 2 home runs for the Yankees in that game. Cleveland 9-3 winners over Toronto at the Rogers Center. CC Sabathia picking up the win for the Indians as they improved to 72-57. It was not a good night for former Colonel Irvin Santana. He was handed his 6th loss against 7 victories. In 3 2/3 against the Devil Rays, he allowed 7 earned runs as Tampa Bay defeated our parent club, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, in a slugfest 12-8. The teams combined for 32 hits at Tropicana Field. Casey Fossum, the winner for the Devil Rays. Oakland gains ground on the Angels out in the AL West pennant race. The A's 4-1 winners at Camden Yards over the Orioles today. Boston rallied to defeat Detroit 9-8. That game at Fenway Park. Former Clinton Lumber King Cameron Lowe pitches a shutout against the Minnesota Twins as the Texas Rangers win 6-0 at the ballpark in Arlington. And the only game in the American League still in progress out at Safeco Field in beautiful Seattle, Washington. It's the Chicago White Sox trailing the Mariners and pitching phenom Felix Hernandez 2-1 in the top of the 6th inning. Now let's switch gears and give you a special State Farm Midwest League scoreboard. As we take a look at the scoreboard and games that pertain to the Kernels, Dayton took a 2-0 lead with single runs in the 1st and 2nd innings at 5th Third Field, but unfortunately Beloit scored 6 unanswered runs to defeat the Dragons 6-2. They, assuming a Kane County loss tonight, will grab the 2nd playoff spot that's available if the season were to end tonight. I say assuming a Kane County loss because in the 7th inning stretch, the Cougars and the Swing are tied at 1 apiece. That game was in a substantial rain delay earlier tonight at John O'Donnell Stadium in Davenport. One other game to keep an eye on in the Midwest League involving the Peoria Chiefs. At O'Brien Field in Peoria, they fall to West Michigan in a shutout, 8-0. The Whitecaps defeat the Chiefs. That will knock them off the pace. Now, as I look at the standings, if I've done my math correctly, if the season ended today, and this is assuming a Kane County loss. Right now that game is tied at 1-1. With the Kane County loss, Quad Cities and Beloit would be in the playoffs. The Cougars would be a half game out. The Kernels at 29-31 are 2 games behind the Snappers, who are 31-29. They have converse records. Burlington, Clinton, who's already in the playoffs, and Peoria are all 3 games behind Beloit at 28-32. That's a look at your State Farm Major League and Midwest League scoreboard.
Todd, thank you so much. And as you said, we thank State Farm Insurance agents Dale Thompson, Gary Schubat, Lanny Peterson, and Al Shetler. A haze of smoke is hovering over the field following that wonderful, dazzling fireworks show here at Community Field.
Looks like last night.
Yeah, it does. Soupy because of the overcast, murky weather. This is man-made, the smoke. Well, Todd, the Kernels are 5-1 on the road trip, and you can never, ever discount a ball club that's playing with the hunger and desire. Yes, it was a very, very treacherous and shaky bottom of the ninth inning, but the Kernels were able to get enough out of Miguel González for him to get that final out with the tying run at third, winning run at second in the ninth inning. That furious charge by Burlington sure, if nothing else, grounded the Kernels back on their feet to know that you can never, ever count a game as a win or a loss until the final out.
Absolutely, John. It's going to be a long, silent Tri-State Motor Coach bus ride back to Cedar Rapids tonight. But the important thing is, for the 5th time in 6 tries on this monstrous, grueling, 8-game, 10-day commuter road trip, the Kernels have taken a victory.
7-6, thanks to our in-studio engineer, Jake Lent. Jake will now take you to Hawkeye Downs and Scott Unash's call of the races. Thank you, Jake, for your great work back in the zone. Thanks to our sports information director, Todd Brummelkamp. Todd has sure made the games a lot more enjoyable, and with his perspective and unique outlook on the game, a lot of fun for you listeners. I appreciate all of his help and support. I'm John Rogers, the voice of the Kernels. Kernels 7, Burlington 6. South Slope Communications Triple Play Showtime tomorrow evening, 6:40. This has been Kernel Baseball in the Zone.